we have flipped the calendar to August. It is semifinal weekend here for AF1 football as Albany, the Firebirds, the 2 seed, host the 3-seeded Minnesota Monsters. Alongside Brian Mariano, I'm Andrew Santilla. We're so glad to bring you this action here this afternoon between these 2 and 3 seeds. Brian, these teams played in the first week of the season back in April. A lot of things have transpired, and here we are. The winner goes to the championship.
Yeah, you come off a win last week. If you're Minnesota, then you come back with Albany hasn't played in 3 weeks, so we'll see how they kind of come out of the gates here. And now with Sam Castronova at the helm of this squad, who's gone through a playoff and championship run before, we'll see how they come out starting the semifinal game.
Sam Castronova will start. And again, these 2 teams played back in April, week number 1. The stakes are a lot higher this time around as Albany and Minnesota get ready for this championship matchup. 1 win to the from the semifinals to the championship. That's all it takes to get to this. I mean, the players and coaches are feeling like this is the opportunity that they've waited all season for.
Yeah, and if you play in Albany, you know once the calendar flips to August, it's playoff and it's championship or bust here. The expectations are high, so when you're playing here at your home arena, you want to come out of here with a win, and you'll wait and see who your opponent could be next week.
The other semifinal is tomorrow, and when we look at players to watch here this afternoon, it's Minnesota quarterback Javante Johnson. He's had a tremendous season this year, 43 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He's got to limit the turnovers today.
Yeah, Johnson has the ability to score at any part on the field, but obviously those 19 interceptions, the ball hawks of the Albany defense going to be looking to try and steal a possession or 2 this afternoon.
And for Albany, Brian, you mentioned him, the reigning league MVP, Sam Castronova. It's not been the regular season that he had anticipated. He was away from the team earlier in the year, being signed to the XFL. Hasn't played since June 20th, so this is not your typical Sam Castronova season.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing going from one game back to the other, but this is his home, very comfortable in the Albany uniform, and his ability to score is going to be huge for Albany today because, again, he hasn't played in a number of weeks, so whether he's comfortable or not early on in this game, we'll have to see.
Well, he is at the pinnacle of his career, according to head coach Damon Ware. We got semifinal action, Minnesota and Albany, coming up next.
Championships are celebrated. Legacies are treasured. Some victories last a season. The greatest ones last forever.
I'm honored to introduce you to 2 of my newest friends. They don't know we're friends yet. They're about to find out. Cody and Shauna Trapp. They are down there in Texas, I believe, but I'm introducing you.
AF1 semifinals from Albany, New York, the capital district, the capital city of New York. Albany Firebirds, the 2 seed, Minnesota Monsters, the 3 seed. Andrew Santilla and Brian Mariano. So glad you could join us here on Vice for what is shaping up to be a tremendous semifinal weekend. This game here Tomorrow is Nashville, as we will hear from our referee for the coin toss.
This is heads. Heads, tails. Minnesota, it's your call. Tails is the call. She's going to let it hit the ground, okay, guys? It's a head. Albany, you won the toss. You want to defer? You're going to receive. You're going to receive.
They defer?
Yes. What way you want to kick? Stay right where you are, guys. Minnesota's going to receive down here.
Captain's out there. Albany won the toss. Minnesota will receive the opening kickoff. Brian, the Monsters reached this point with a first-round victory last weekend against Washington. They are the 3 seed here to take on the 2 seed Firebirds. Tomorrow afternoon, also on Vice, from Clarksville, Tennessee, the top-seeded Nashville Cats will take on the 5th-seeded Michigan Arsenal, the winner from today's semifinal. And tomorrow's semifinal will meet next weekend in the Arena Crown game. Obviously, the site to be determined by the highest remaining seed or lowest remaining seed. Best team will host that championship game. This should be a great game here this afternoon.
Yeah, there was no love lost in the start of this game as there were introductions from both sides and a lot of jawing back and forth. So all the gloves are off. Semifinal number 1 is about to begin, and both of these teams, obviously Minnesota coming off the win last week, carrying that momentum. Albany hasn't played in 3 weeks. We'll see how they come out of the gates early on, but there's a lot of intensity in this building so far, and we're about to kick it off.
Coach Damon Ware said, health is better than rust. As you said, Brian, Albany has not played in 21 days since losing 57-54 right on this very field, MVP Arena, to Nashville back on July 11th. And another thing to keep a note on for Albany is the special teams. This is their 4th kicker of the year, Bailey Hale, who was just signed on Thursday, and he will kick off. And that is something Albany has been dominant in special teams in years past, and this has been kind of a fact-finding mission for head coach Damon Ware this season.
You know, it's always trying to find those extra points from the special teams, especially in a high-scoring sport that is AF1.
And kicking it away is Hale. It goes out of play underneath the crossbar, and it will come out. And Nashville will take it, or excuse me, Minnesota will take over, and there is their quarterback, Javante Johnson. Has had a tremendous season, over 1,800 passing yards, 43 touchdowns. Brian, the one thing he has to keep an eye on is the interceptions. Has 19 and has thrown an interception in every game this season.
Yeah, we talked about that in the open. Johnson's ability to put the ball in the end zone is very high, but also turning it over is kind of the Achilles heel. So we'll see if Albany can try and steal a couple possessions throughout this game.
Minnesota coach Darren Clark said he's been getting better week after week. Javante Johnson threw for 6 touchdowns in the first-round victory last week against Washington. Here he is on first down. He's going to take a shot all the way down the field, and he's got his man for the touchdown, as it's Jarve Flowers, and Minnesota with a jump start to this semifinal matchup as Johnson connects with Flowers for the touchdown.
Andrew, we talked about, you and me off camera before the game, maybe Minnesota might come out slowing the game down, get into a rhythm. No, they come out first play, go over the top, and score immediately, and boy, all the energy that was in this building has now been zapped out of it as Minnesota grabs an early lead.
Well, Jarve Flowers has speed and great hands, according to his head coach, Darren Clark, and we saw them on that first play as Johnson loaded up and just threw it all the way down the field for Flowers for the touchdown. Out to attempt the extra point is kicker Michael Hall. Left-footed kicker, was 3 of 7 in extra points. The kick is up, and it is good. And in the first minute, 59 seconds into this game, Minnesota, well, it was a long bus ride from Duluth, Minnesota to Albany, New York. But they get it started with the touchdown pass from Johnson to Flowers, and just like that, we're off and running.
Yeah, beautifully run route by Flowers. He was able to get right to the top of the route and almost get the D-back to kind of commit to one side, and as soon as he came out of his break, as you saw there, was 5 yards clear of any defender, and a beautiful ball to start the game. And if you're Johnson and you wanted to get yourself into a rhythm, that's a quick way to do it. 1-for-1 with a touchdown.
We mentioned in the open, Albany has not played in 21 days. Minnesota played last Sunday, was their first round game against Washington. They finished the regular season with 3 straight wins, Kentucky, Washington, and then Beaumont, and then that first round win last Sunday. So they've won 4 straight games. And Coach Clark was saying this is an opportunity for a statement game. These two teams played first week of the season back in April. In the springtime, that game was a game Albany won 50-23, but in their inaugural season in the AF1, a chance to make it to the Arena Crown game as Hall's kick is off the right net, received there and taken out by Townsend, I believe, as he gets out over the 5 to the 6, and that's where Albany will start this opening drive.
Now with that opening score, if you're Albany, you got to try and answer back here, get yourself a nice drive, and try and equalize this game early on. And Castronova, as we mentioned, hasn't played in a while. Got to come right out, and we'll see how he fares on this first drive.
Castronova, the reigning league MVP, but as you just said, Brian, has not played in a game since June the 20th. Here we are on August 1st, and actually Albany, in Sam's 6 games, they went 4-2. They actually have a better record with Joshua Kolka this season, if you can believe that. First pass, Castronova, complete to Scott, out close to the 20-yard line. It'll be a first down, and it'll move the football down the field. And there's one thing to keep an eye on, and Albany's the 2 seed, but they've got arguably the best quarterback, the reigning league MVP, and they've got a lot of weapons at receiver.
They certainly do, and I like that first call by head coach Damon Ware, kind of getting Castronova a nice, easy pitch and catch, middle of the field, no real danger around, and see if they try to take a shot here on the new sticks.
So they get it out to the 18-yard line. They've got 1st and 10. Castronova puts Dwayne Brown in motion. The pass caught by Townsend, and Townsend is over midfield, close to another first down. There is a flag down on the far side of the field, and both teams pointing the opposite direction. You got to do that, right?
Absolutely. You got to sell the call as best you can. They might be getting Albany here, depending on the man in motion. We'll see what the call is, and now looks like Minnesota's backing up. Looks like it is on Minnesota. We'll see what head coach Damon Ware wants to do. Most likely will decline this penalty with the
illegal
reception.
defense. Minnesota. That penalty's declined. Result of the
You're
play.
right, penalty declined. Illegal defense to call. They were close to the first down, a pickup of 9. Darian Townsend, an outstanding year, led the Firebirds in receptions, receiving yards, closing in on 1,000. Actually bumping right up against 1,000 with that first catch. And a league-leading 24 touchdowns. Now, Dwayne Brown missed some time. Isaiah Scott didn't maybe have the regular season he wanted. Ajay Hall came on mid-season, but Townsend has been the consistent guy. And here's a run with Zacher to the left, and he's got the first down to the Minnesota 20.
I like this play calling. The first 3 plays from head coach Damon Ware, kind of slowly, methodically working his way down the field, getting his team into the game a bit. So we thought beforehand the game might be the opposite, where Minnesota would slow it down and then Albany would take the shots deep, but a very good opening drive for the Firebirds.
Try to give you the starters here. Of course, the Minnesota drive was 1 play and done, so we didn't have a lot of an opportunity there to give you starters on either side of the football field. Castronova with a first down at the Minnesota 20. Puts his man in motion, that's Townsend. Throws it his way, and it's just a little out of the reach of Darian Townsend, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, trying to find that quarter route to Townsend. He did a nice job of setting up the defensive back to get him to the middle of the field, but that one from Castronova, just a little bit too much pepper on it, and an overthrow with an opportunity.
One thing we should mention is Minnesota is playing without defensive back Delvon Randall. 7 interceptions to lead the team. He is here, but he is not playing this afternoon, and that's a big loss. And And Coach Clark basically said, next man up. We need somebody to step up. Castronova retreating. Flags fly, and Castronova will just send this one into the bench area, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, they might get Crawford here on a hold.
Holding 70 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
You're right. It was Tykeist Crawford. So the offensive line in front of Castronova, you see a bunch of them right there. Nicholson, Crawford, and Zacher from left to right. The other guy who just went into your screen there, center circle, number 74, is Colby Bird. Albany's had a lot of consistency in terms of the offensive line. A lot of those guys played on this championship team from a year ago. Crawford did not. The other three did. So a lot of consistency up front in front of the MVP, Sam Castronova. Takes the snap, drops back, quick pass. Scott takes a big hit and bounces towards the original line of scrimmage. That was a big hit there as he gets to the Minnesota 22-yard line.
Nice job there from Scott to be able to keep his composure and hold on to that ball, knowing you're about to take a shot, running that slant across, and now sets up third, probably 2 plays here, but you got to get a good chunk of this to give yourself more play call opportunities for fourth down.
Third down, Minnesota will be relying on one of its best defensive players to try to get to the quarterback, Shai Hill, number 1, who's set up on the near side of the defensive line. They got a quick start. There's a flag. Pass complete to Dwayne Brown. He's got the first down. I think it's going to be a defensive offsides call.
I think you're right too, Andrew. Yep, it looked that way. And then nice job there from Castronova, almost Aaron Rodgers-like, knowing he had the free play, getting the ball out quick, and getting the first down.
And certainly something
Offsides.
Albany fans are happy to see
Penalty
is
is
Dwayne
declined.
Brown
Result
back
of
in
the
the
play,
fold as he makes
first
that
down.
catch. Result of the play is a first down. Brown missed 4 games this year, and Coach Ware said, you can't really rush back the explosive guys because they try to get out there and be explosive again, maybe re-injure themselves. He has not played since June the 12th in the game against Michigan here. Albany lost 3 of its last 4 games of the regular season, including that Michigan game, which was the first loss of the season. They're going to throw to Brown, and he is in for the touchdown. As it's Dwayne Brown, and for Albany, it's 2 + 3 = 6 as Castronova connects with Brown for the touchdown.
Yeah, nice setup play here. The motion man coming by kind of distracts the defense. As you can see here, Castronova immediately knowing he's got to get this ball out quick. Brown, nothing but space in front of him, puts his head down, battles for those extra 4 yards, and gets the ball over the goal line for the touchdown.
Fought through the tackle of LeBaron Mallory, who I thought initially he might be short, but he really reached across that line to get across the goal line for the touchdown. And so Albany has drawn within 1 point as newly acquired kicker Bailey Hale out for his first extra point of the afternoon. Hold by Townsend. The kick is up, and it is good. 8:55 to go in the first quarter. It is 7-7 in this semifinal matchup between Minnesota and Albany. Good start here of AF1 football on Vice.
Check out the next QR code up on the Jumbotron. That's how you follow us on social media. We want best in social media in the league next season. That's where we bring you live updates, roster transactions, and more.
Copy.
All right, looks like we got back 9 right in the house tonight. He was jet skiing earlier today, came right down to Hudson to join us. It's time to make some drawings. That's right, Scott. We're here 106. Let me look this. We're going to play a little Pictionary tonight. We got
Okay.
Firebirds respond after Minnesota scores. It's 7-7, and both teams getting on the scoreboard here early.
Yeah, two very different fashions. One play, the other a nice 7-play drive by the Firebirds to work their way down the field. I like how they responded after the penalty, being able to get the ball in the red zone and then being able to score with Brown at the end there. But it'll be interesting to see now how Minnesota comes back and has to answer.
Hale blasts it, and it goes below the nets again. So it will come out for Minnesota. And for the Monsters, couldn't ask for more on that first drive, Brian. One play, one touchdown. Javante Johnson loading up to Jarve Flowers. As you see, Darren Clark Jr., the head coach for this Minnesota Monsters team, and talked about him saying that this is an opportunity for a statement. They played their first ever game in AF1 here back in April, and now a chance to go to the championship game as the 3rd seed. And what an opportunity here for Coach Clark and the Monsters organization.
Yeah, great starting field position too after that ball went under the net all the way out the 20-yard line. Real opportunity for Minnesota to bounce right back with another score.
The reason it comes out to the 20 is because the league really encourages you to keep the ball in play. Play it off the nets, get the ball, a lot of action. So when you kick it like that, they kind of want to almost penalize you. It looked like Flowers was way ahead of the snap there. And it'll
False
be an
start,
offside.
high motion man.
Flowers
10-yard penalty,
had the touchdown
replay,
pass, but he
first
tried to
down.
get a jump start there. Had a tremendous regular season, 48 catches, 14 touchdowns. Had 2 touchdowns last week in the first round win over Washington.
Looks like a little miscommunication there between Johnson and his center. It looked like they wanted to go on 2. And as soon as he went for the second hike call, the ball didn't come. So now back 10 yards.
And you mentioned that center, that's Torrey Boyd. Coach Clark said, we maybe have the best offensive line in the league. Getting away and going all the way the distance for the touchdown. It's Flowers again, as Jarve Flowers got away from the tackle. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns for Jarve Flowers. And this was just showing Flowers' escapability there as he gets out of the tackle, caught it at about midfield, and is able to break the tackle and go the distance, Brian.
Yeah, explosive play. We've seen it already in the first 8 minutes of this game from Flowers. That's just a missed tackle in the open field, and it seems like early on, Minnesota's done a good job of getting one-on-ones. Obviously, you see a lot of that in AF1, but it seems like right now Minnesota has the advantage, especially with Flowers.
Hall out for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. Midway through this first quarter, Minnesota back on top, 14-7.
And honestly, they've run 2 plays. If you want to take the penalty away, 3 plays, and they've scored twice. So Minnesota really feeling themselves on the offensive side of the football. And we've seen it already. When you get Flowers out in space, he's really explosive, and we saw the toughness there at the top of that route, being able to catch that ball, lay the shoulder down to shrug off the tackle, and then the speed to break away for the score.
Well, 2 catches for Jarve Flowers, 85 yards. Doesn't get much better than that at any level. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Monsters leading it 14-7.
And if you wanted to start to kind of draw up when you're on the road in a playoff atmosphere that's really tough to come up to Albany and win a game, this is the way you would draw it up.
Offensive line giving Johnson time, and he's able to throw the football down the field. Albany has got to get things figured out defensively. They can't let Flowers beat him like he has so far. This a line drive kick caught up by the up man at the 10-yard line. Dwayne Brown. Brown gets over midfield, so Albany will have good field position. Bit of a strange line drive kick there, and Brown snared it and was able to run it about 16 yards onto the Minnesota side of the field.
Looks like just kind of a missed kick there from Hall, kind of low spinning kick, but smart play there from Brown to recognize, right at him, get Albany great field position to try and bounce right back and tie this game up.
So Castronova and the offense back out on the field. They had a 7-play touchdown drive the first time they touched the football, trailing again by a touchdown. All 3 drives so far have resulted in touchdowns in this game so far this afternoon. Here is Castronova, dropping back, throws for Brown, has some room, makes a move. He's got the first down before he's pushed into the boards. Tackled by Mallory. Called his name a couple of times, but it'll be 1st and goal for Albany as Dwayne Brown wide open on that play, on that kind of a check down to Brown. Not the guy you want to leave that wide open.
No, looks like they wanted to try and hit Townsend on the deep crossing route, but Minnesota's been more than happy to kind of back off, and Brown was able to grab a nice chunk on that drop-off pass.
Townsend looping around to the near side. He's the motion man. Castronova throws it. He's got a man wide open, and it's DB3, and he flips his way into the end zone for the touchdown. As Castronova connects with Brown, 2 + 3 = 6 for the Firebirds. And so far, those 2 guys who have not played together or at all in quite some time are on the same page here early, Brian.
Nice job here from Castronova, and a beautifully drawn up play from Damon Ware. All the attention went to the left side, and here comes Brown just slowly running across the field. No one within 10 yards of him, and an easy pitch and catch for the score.
Well, Coach Ware said that maybe Dwayne Brown was a little extra motivated here. Has that played maybe up to the level of his expectations in the regular season? Of course, missed 4 games this year. 50 catches during the regular season. Kick is up, and it is good. So far, 2 for 2 for the newly acquired Bailey Hale. And 5.5 minutes to go in this first quarter, and we're tied at 14 as we get another look at the score.
As you can see there, nothing really, no extra effort put in from Castronova there. That's understanding the route combination, being able to see the defense clearly. And as soon as Brown broke off of that, nobody went with him. And you can see at the end of the play, there was a lot of DBs from Minnesota looking at each other like, wait, what happened here? Clear miscommunication, nicely drawn up play. And we're trading punches back and forth here in the first quarter.
Those Minnesota DBs were looking for that guy, DB Dwayne Brown, who has been able to get behind the defense. You're right, it's been an offensive slugfest so far in this first quarter, 14-14. We talked about Castronova hasn't played in about a month and a half. The last time he did play on the road at Nashville, he threw for 10 touchdowns. Now, Albany lost that game 78-69, but Castronova picking up where he left off in that game back on June the 20th, had 10 touchdowns and 1 interception in that game against Nashville. He's got 2 early touchdowns here in the first quarter this afternoon.
And we were worried about a little rust from Albany. I don't think so in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Hale boots it away. It's going to bounce off the left net and down. It's picked up and brought out of the end zone and getting out to about the 3-yard line. And that's where Minnesota will start.
Wow, what an effort there to try and get it out. Kind of got a funny bounce off the net, be able to kind of corral that ball and be able to work his way around one tackler right here with a nice move, a little juke, and then scurry his way by another to at least get it out of the end zone.
And that's Carlos Thompson Jr., who gets out to, they spot it at the 3-yard line. And again, Minnesota offensively, Coach Clark couldn't have asked for more here. They basically have 2 offensive plays, 3 if you count the penalty, and they have 2 touchdowns. This one's going to go short, and it is Thompson who just returned that kick, and he's knocked out of bounds by Mosby. Gets out to the 11-yard line, close to a first down.
And if you're Coach Clark Jr., you've been calling a perfect game so far. Quarterback seems very comfortable. The easy pitch and catches so far in this first quarter.
Give you the offensive linemen up front for Minnesota. Kyler Edwards, Torrey Boyd, Leon Brown, and Gunnar Hurlbert are the 4 offensive linemen out there as that pass is caught by Flowers. He has enough for the first down, tackled by Marcus Smith. And this is officially the longest drive Minnesota's had in this game, as they have 2 completions, they get a first down.
And I like this kind of changing it up a bit, because you've had 2 explosive plays on your first 2 drives. This one gets your quarterback a little bit, I would say, even more settled, because he's been perfect so far. But nice, easy pitch and catches. We'll see if they try to take a shot here.
Well, that's been the one knock on Johnson. He only is completing 47% of his passes, but as you said, he's been perfect so far today. Now he's scrambling, and just off the outstretched arms of his intended receiver, Thompson.
Stevens doing a nice job getting pressure on the quarterback there, forcing him off of his spot, and had an open receiver. But when you have pressure in your face like that, it makes it really difficult to deliver an accurate pass. We see it here, kind of moving to his right off his spot, and just out of the outstretched hands of the receiver.
Yeah, Jair Stevens acquired back on July the 9th, 6'4", 240 out of Lafayette College. Made an impact there and got Johnson off his spot. Snap, pass caught on that near side, and fighting up the near wall is McAllister as he's pushed out by Jones Jr. for Albany.
Beautiful timing on that route, being able to create space with the tight coverage from Albany on that play. McAllister being able to turn, and a perfectly delivered ball from Johnson now sets up 3rd and short.
Big play here, 3rd down just over midfield, 2 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Johnson, he's a shotgun snapper. He doesn't really drop back much, but he's going to go under center and hand it off. And Albany sniffs that out, and they're going to be short of the line to gain. I believe that is 77, Hurlbert, the offensive lineman who comes out missing his helmet. He got a little bit of a push, Brian, but didn't get to the line to gain.
Yeah, beautiful job here from Albany and their front 4 to recognize this. And you called it before the play, Andrew, is that you don't see Johnson under center much. And when you see 3rd and short and him go under center, something might be up going up the middle. They sniffed it out, and now a huge play in this first quarter.
4th down, it was Prince Umanilian in on that stop, along with Drew Singleton and Morris Joseph. 4th and inches here. They're going to hand it off, kind of a sweep, and a big stop for the defense as Morris Joseph Jr. came through and knocked that play off. Albany's got an injured player down, but that was a gigantic play to make that stop.
Yeah, and that's Smith. He came in, and great call from D coordinator Brandon Cisse to see this, but it looks like we're going to have Marcus Smith took a big shot at the end of that play.
Ladarian McAllister stopped short of the line to gain. We are going to step away as they look at Marcus Smith. It'll be Albany ball when we return, tied at 14.
No, he definitely went in with his shoulder. And right before that, too, you see he's like telling him, come. I'm telling you that they're running. They almost sniffed the play out. Yeah. But shoulder.
Marcus Smith in the backfield for the 4th down stop. fans of Field Square is proudly presented by Eastern Heating and Cooling, delivering comfort all year long. Thanks to MBT Bank for being a proud partner of your Firebirds. Also thanks to Dutchess Place for being a proud sponsor. And thanks to Superior Drywall Carpentry and Painting for being a proud sponsor of your Birds. How about that fourth down stop?
During that timeout, Marcus Smith able to get off the field, but Brian, the Firebirds defense finally showing up here in this first quarter.
Yeah, big possession from the defense there. You see the D-line putting a little pressure on the quarterback, and then huge sniffing out that play on fourth down, and now the offense a chance to take their first lead.
Castronova with the ball on the Minnesota side of the field. He is going to be swarmed over as the Monsters get home for the first time in this game, as it was Antonio Simley also getting through there, Claude Davis, as they get through to Castronova. During that timeout, Marcus Smith was able to get off. We were talking about that play off the air. Coach Cisse, the defensive coordinator for Albany, who played here for many, many years, was kind of calling that play out as things were shuffling around, and Marcus Smith came all the way up from his secondary spot to sniff that out.
Yeah, well, right by the wide receiver. Good job by defensive coordinator Cisse to see that. And now second down for the Firebirds.
Castronova drops back, delivers, wide open is Isaiah Scott, and he is going to carry the defensive player in for the touchdown. Albany score. There is a flag down, but it's going to, the indication it will be on Minnesota, as Isaiah Scott caught the ball wide open in the middle of the field and did the rest with his legs. And when you talk about a big postseason performer, Isaiah Scott is that
during
guy.
the play, personal foul, face mask, defense.
Not only did he
that
catch
foul
the ball,
will be in
carry
the
the
bag.
defender, he also had
Try for point.
someone grabbing his face mask as he ran into the end zone for the touchdown.
Hard-nosed running here from Scott. Nice delay, slants on this play. Nobody in the middle of the field to see Scott, and you can see there a little grab of the face mask at the end. And a great response from the Albany offense after that turnover on downs.
First lead of this game for Albany, and now a flag comes
False
down
start.
before the extra
Offense,
point.
number 65, 5-yard
Joined us
penalty.
late. Minnesota
Retry.
got the ball first. Albany won the coin toss, deferred to the second half. Minnesota scored on their very first offensive play. Then had another short drive for a touchdown, both going to Jarvey Flowers. But Albany each time has responded, and now after the big defensive swing of momentum, they have the lead. Bailey Hale backed up a bit, and the kick is off of the right upright after the penalty. So with 5 seconds to go in this first quarter, 20-14. We've talked about special teams, Brian. There's kind of sneaky points out there. Obviously, extra points are, normal points, but when you can kick deuces and get weird ricochets off the nets, those points are crucial. Special teams is big in AF1 football.
Yeah, they don't seem big early on, but then when you get to the fourth quarter and then you've added 4, 6, 8 points with deuces or a missed extra point, as we just saw there from Albany, these flags don't seem that big of a deal, but with as small as these uprights are, they get smaller as you go further back, and we saw it on that extra point chance from the Firebirds. Now response, a little momentum heading towards Albany's way. We're nearing the end of the first quarter. We'll see if Minnesota can kind of keep pace in a high-scoring first quarter.
Well, again, the special teams, you know, we caught up with Coach Ware before the game, and he said, you know, I have a lot of answers for a lot of different things. I don't have the answer for the special team struggles this year. I've been trying to find it, trying to figure it out. They brought Bailey Hale in this week. He's the 4th kicker they've had this season as he boots it away. And ball goes over the boards as the clock has run out on a high-scoring first quarter here of this AF1
ball be placed
semifinal.
at the 20-yard line.
Albany 20,
After
Minnesota
enforcement
14.
of the penalty
Buckle
for a
up.
face
This could
mask.
be a really
Minnesota's
good one
ball,
that
first
we've
and
got in
10,
store here this
10-yard
afternoon
line.
with a spot in the Arena Crown on the line.
Proud sponsor and supporter of your Albany Firebirds. TransFinder is also celebrating a major national victory, a clean sweep of the 2026 School Transportation News Innovation Choice Awards. TransFinder took first place in all 4 categories: green technology, hardware, safety technology, and software and AI solutions. Just as the Firebirds bring innovation, teamwork, and determination to the field, TransFinder brings award-winning technology to school districts and police departments, helping them operate more efficiently, communicate more effectively, and keep students and our community safer. Congratulations to TransFinder. Let's hear it for your
Filled it all right.
Learn more at TransFinder.com. All right, Brian, what do you got for us, kiddo?
Hey Scott, it's one of my favorite times of my life. We have dressed like the Firebirds. We got Aiden, and Caleb here. They have to put on the shoulder pads, put on their jersey, get the helmet on, scoop up the football, the first one to bring it back into the end zone. It's going home with this Albany Firebirds prize bag. So fans, are you ready?
Right. Hayden gets a 5-yard advantage. Hayden starts at the 5.
I don't think he needs it. He's pretty fast. I saw him coming up.
All right, I know that kid.
He in the race. Here we go, fellas. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hayden.
Oh, we got a close one here. This is where everyone trips up, Scott. The jersey. All right, here we go. We got the helmet. We got it. He's got the ball into the end zone. And he's going home with an Albany Firebirds prize tag.
Good job, guys. Make some noise for Hayden. He could go all the way. Spike it, buddy.
A high-scoring first quarter has Albany, the 2 seed, in front of the Minnesota Monsters, the 3 seed, 20-14 on this semifinal Saturday. Second semifinal comes up tomorrow, same time, same place on Vice, 4 o'clock Eastern. Pass is incomplete. They were looking for Flowers. As that tomorrow's semifinal will feature top-seeded Nashville against 5th-seeded Michigan. Both of these games should be outstanding, and we saw that in the first quarter exactly kind of what we were looking forward to in this game, which is going to be a close game and a really exciting offensive output by both of these teams.
Yeah, we'll see the defenses show up in critical times. Good to see Smith back out in the defensive secondary for Albany after that previous drive, but Minnesota trying to keep pace with the first possession of the second quarter.
Albany with its first lead of the game as they had been playing catch-up. Here's Johnson dropping back, got a man, it's a little behind him, and it drops incomplete. It was Travion Mosby in coverage.
This one just a little bit behind the receiver, and this is going to be the moment in the game where we've had some good possessions to start in that first quarter, quick start, but now high pressure situations for Johnson. You got 3rd down and long, got to be able to connect on one of these passes.
It's 3rd and 10 for the Monsters from their own 10-yard line. Johnson, pass, air mails that one as he was looking for Flowers. Marcus Smith in coverage, and now it's 4th down. And you mentioned for Minnesota, can't really chase this game, right? They're down, now it's 4th down, and you're playing kind of into Albany's hands here if you get down early in this game, and they need to pick up a first down here.
Absolutely. Big play early on in this semifinal.
Fourth down and 10. And the flag flies as Johnson called for the snap. Flowers, I don't think I've ever seen that. Flowers just ran down the field. They never snapped it, and so he's offside.
5-yard penalty.
Is going to be what the official
Replay,
has.
4th down.
And so back Minnesota up to the 5-yard line.
It looks like there's definitely some miscommunication. It's loud in here.
It's starting to get loud, yeah.
So understanding the situation, we've seen that already in this first half. Johnson not being set, or maybe hearing the call from the quarterback to the center, not working, but a huge 4th down play here.
4th and 15 for Johnson and the Monsters offense. Johnson heaves it. It's in and out of the hands of his receiver. He would have had the first down. Big break up there by Mosby, as that looked kind of like a desperation play, and McAllister almost made that catch for the first down.
Johnson,
and it took a big hit from Mosby to dislodge that football.
You can see it here, just trying to make something happen, throws it in just the general area where his 2 receivers might be. I thought it was going to go to Flowers, ends up getting to McAllister, but a beautiful play by Mosby on the back end with a big hit to dislodge that ball. And now we're at the point where could be danger time early on for Minnesota. They had a perfect start to this semifinal game, but now a 4th down that they didn't get in the first quarter. Now another one to start at the second quarter could be an opportunity for the Firebirds.
And for Johnson at quarterback started, I think, a perfect 5 for 5. Now he's 5 for 10 passing. And Albany set up here on the doorstep. 1st and goal at the 5. They move Hall in motion. They look his way. And the pass just a little too far for Ajay Hall. And it falls incomplete. Hall came on in the mid-season, and Coach Ware described him as a bigger Markel Wade for Albany indoor arena football fans. He really can fly, 6'3", 195. And with Dwayne Brown back and Isaiah Scott and Townsend, if Ajay Hall is your number 4, look out.
That play there, good spot to miss if you're Castronova, because you don't want to miss inside there at all in that route. Missing outside and then set up for 2nd down.
Scott is the motion man. They throw behind him. It's Townsend, and he's in for the touchdown. Darian Townsend, the league leader in touchdown receptions, gets his first here on this semifinal Saturday. And Albany goes in front by 2 scores. 4th passing touchdown of this first half for Sam Castronova.
Townsend giving the fans what they want here, a little Firebirds action after that score, and beautifully drawn up play here. You get the motion man that kind of gets the eyes of the defenders, and a quick pitch and catch. Townsend quickly into the end zone.
Bailey Hale back out for his 4th extra point attempt out of the hold of Darian Townsend. Kick is up, and it is good. With 10:47 to go in the first half. It's Albany 27, Minnesota 14, and Albany has scored 3 straight touchdowns here now to open up the biggest lead of this game. Albany up by 2 scores. We'll be back, first half action.
The fans of the Albany Firebirds would like to give a huge thank you to Rivers Casino for being the official housing sponsor of your Albany Firebirds. Our players and staff are fueled, rested, and ready for game day. All thanks to Rivers Casino. The fans make sure to stop by Cucino's, only 5 minutes from the arena, located at 240 Broadway in Rensselaer. They got breakfast, they got lunch, they got dinner, they got everything at Cucino's. Thanks for being a proud sponsor of your Albany Firebirds. don't think we're going to set any season records, but you never know. You never know. Scrolling or texting, sending mom a message. Well, game is very exciting. I think I'm going to have a hot dog at halftime. I may have a beer. Anyway, I hope I'm on the Jumbotron tonight. I'll be so excited if I am. I don't know this 41 seconds. I don't think anybody's going to compete with that. Congratulations to tonight's sleepiest fan. Thanks to Innovative and the Sleep Center for being a proud partner of your Albany Firebirds.
Albany has scored 3 straight touchdowns. They've got 3 different receivers who have caught touchdown passes. And Sam Castronova has thrown 4 touchdowns in this first half as Albany has opened up a 2-score lead in this semifinal matchup. Fans trying to call out for the deuce. Bailey Hale's been close on a few of these. He's off the left side of the net, takes a big hop, nicely corralled and brought out of there. Leaping into the air and being driven backwards is Thompson, I believe that was, returning the ball. There is a flag down.
Tackled by a parade of Albany Firebirds on that play. We'll see what
During
the flag
the return,
is.
holding number 16, receiving team. Half the distance from the
It's
end of the
also-
run, first down.
To add insult to injury, a penalty on the receiving team. So Minnesota will back up inside its own 2-yard line here to start this drive. And Brian, it's gone from basically as good of a start as you could have to basically a nightmare over the last couple of drives for Javante Johnson in this Monsters offense.
And if you're Albany, you got them kind of right where you want them. You put pressure, now they have to score to keep up with you.
Quick pass, nice completion. Breaking away is Flowers to the 5, and he is in for the touchdown. Jarve Flowers gets away again and goes the distance for the touchdown, his 3rd touchdown of this first half. And Flowers is doing all that he can to keep Minnesota in it.
Flowers so explosive here in between 3 Firebirds, able to corral his way out of there, and that breakaway speed, and especially here at the end, the last 5 yards to fight through the tackle to get all the way to the end zone.
Lorenzo Jones, who was just activated off of the IR, was trying to pull him down just shy of the goal line, but was unable to do so. So the Monsters, quick drives for Minnesota. Here's Hall out for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is no good with 9:45 to go in the first half. It's Albany 27, Minnesota 20. As we get another look at the evasiveness of Jarve Flowers.
And you look at probably Minnesota thinking this is going to be a quick hitch, get us 7-8 yards, get the drive moving. But with Flowers, his ability to get away from tackles, and we saw that speed. We've seen it throughout the first half from him. Has been extremely impressive so far.
Yeah, don't look now. Flowers, 4 catches for a $139 and 3 touchdowns for Jarve Flowers. Had 3 catches for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Washington. And he is basically single-handedly keeping Minnesota in this game. Javante Johnson, 3 touchdown passes, but Flowers has done it running all the way down the field with long passes. He's done it with short passes where he's broken away from the defense.
Yeah, we saw that first play, just beat the defender on one play, 50 yards, boom, done. This one, just a quick hitch, showing his speed off. And for Johnson, it kind of settles you down a bit because, yes, you don't want to get into a game where you're down 2 scores, constantly trying to keep pace with the Firebirds, but to have that ability to, in just one play, you can turn it right around.
Hall blasts that one off the right side of the nets. Here comes Townsend, makes a move in the end zone, gets away to the 5, to the 10, gets out to the 11-yard line. That was a pretty good return considering it looked like maybe he was going to be tackled in the end zone, and gets all the way out to the 11-yard line, ends up without his helmet. And the jawing that started in the pregame continues here late in the first half.
Yeah, high energy, everyone knows the stakes coming into this afternoon, and for Minnesota, you know you're going on the road. You got to set the tone early. They did in the first quarter. Albany has bounced back with a couple big defensive plays at the end of the first quarter and the beginning of this second quarter. And now back and forth we go. Exactly what we expect for any AF1
exactly.
semifinal
I mean,
game.
this is high scoring. I mean, this is why these games are exciting, and we expect nothing less here at this point in the season. The best 4 teams playing for a chance to win that arena crown, which Albany won last year. Townsend came off the field. I think maybe he's supposed to be off the field at this point. I thought maybe he lost a piece of like maybe his mouth guard or something. That's why he had to come to the sideline. But
thought he did get away with a little bit of a tug of the face mask there as he came up towards the boards, but could be a different look for the Firebirds offensively on this possession.
Minnesota has also brought out an offensive lineman. Torrey Boyd is out there. Claude Davis, it looks like maybe he's having some issues with his helmet down in the Minnesota bench area. So Boyd, who's the starting center, is lined up at nose tackle here for the Monsters on this first Albany snap of this possession. They complete it to Ajay Hall, and Hall still on his feet as he bursts to the far side of the field, and about the most splendid 2-yard pass reception you'll ever see, as it looked like he was maybe only going to get a couple yards, then he was going to maybe lose 10 yards, and he ends up with a 2-yard completion.
I can see Damon Ware just taking a breath like, oh man, I got an explosive wide receiver just trying to get a couple yards. There's Castronova throwing a big block. I don't know if you want your starting quarterback out there throwing shoulders, but nonetheless, it becomes 2nd and 8.
Snap, Castronova's got a man wide open, and walking into the end zone for the touchdown is Dwayne Brown. The 3rd time in this first half those two have hooked up for a touchdown. As for the Firebirds, 2 + 3 = 6. And Castronova has now thrown 5, count them 5, first half touchdown passes.
Yeah, this one beautifully set up, and right at the top of the route, you see the defender falling down. And for Brown, all he had to do was just corral it and take the 1 step into the end zone. An explosive play for the Firebirds.
Well, Brown, who maybe I would say, think even he would say, didn't have the regular season that he hoped for, reigning Offensive Player of the Year, finalist for the MVP last year. He has come out swinging here in this semifinal. Kick is up, and it is good from Bailey Hale midway through this second quarter. Albany responds as it's back to a 2-touchdown lead. Castronova to Brown. Minnesota fans are sick of hearing that. 3rd touchdown connection for those two. Albany up by 2 scores midway through the second. Castronova, 5 first-half touchdown passes for the reigning league MVP. And
Dad, nice job.
Yeah, how about a mid-game high five for the reigning MVP, Castronova, who we said hadn't played in about 6 weeks. Well, he's got 5 touchdown passes in this first half. And these two offenses are putting up points here as it's 34-20 midway through the second quarter. That one soars below the uprights out of play, and so Minnesota will get the ball to start. 7:28 to go. Well, we're only about 30 miles or so south of the historic Saratoga Racecourse, and we've got 2 thoroughbred-like offenses here racing up and down the field, and it may be the last one who's got the football here gets to the finish line first here between Albany and Minnesota.
Absolutely. It's nice to see, too, with Albany being able to respond, because you're always putting the pressure back on Minnesota's offense to keep pace, being a 2-score game. And as you saw there, in between timeouts, you come to an AF1 game, you can get close and be able to talk to the players. Always the interaction. It's fun.
So 1st and 10 for the Monsters at their own 20. They put a man in motion. Johnson is going to be sacked, taken down. The ball came out late as it was Stevens who got there, and Johnson lost his helmet. Looks like he's okay, but Stevens took him down for that sack on first down.
And Minnesota looking to try and take a shot here. A lot of the routes 10+ yards down the field. That gives the opportunity for the front 4 of the Firebirds to do what they do best and able to take Johnson down, and a huge play on first down.
Loss of 12 as Johnson was trying to get away.
And that's one where, as explosive as he is, understanding the play, if there's pressure, you got to try to throw that ball away to at least preserve 2nd and 10.
Instead, it's 2nd and 22 here for Johnson and the Monsters. There was Coach Darren Clark. Johnson, pass, caught. Nice looking pass and caught and catch. And getting over midfield, big hit. Lorenzo Jones puts on Carlos Thompson, Jr.
Thompson, beautiful job here, wide open in the middle of the field as Johnson catches him crossing. Ball a little bit high, but able to kind of pull it down, keep his momentum going forward to get an extra 5 or 6 yards. And now in one play, you have 3rd and short.
You get a lot of that big loss on the first down sack back. And as you said, it's 3rd down and 3 for the Monsters. Johnson, quick pass caught right at the sticks. It's McAllister for the first down. And Minnesota will keep this drive alive on the Albany side of the field with about 5:15 to go in this first half.
A smart play there from Johnson, had all the motion on the bottom side of the play, knowing you have that pitch and catch hitch route right near the boards to get that first down. And obviously Minnesota trying to slow down the pace here a bit, not wanting to give Albany much time, but we've seen throughout this first half, either offense can score in seconds.
1st and 10 from the Albany 19. Johnson, pass caught, and twirling down onto the ground is Thompson. He gets to the 12, pickup of 7.
This one a little delay slant on the bottom side of the screen. This one, it just seems like Johnson's been a bit off here in this second quarter. That one a little bit to the outstretched part of the hands of the receiver. Good job from Thompson to be able to corral that one in and keep the drive going in a positive direction.
And remember, he started this game 5 of 5. He's now 9 of 14. Johnson into the end zone, just beyond his target, Carlos Thompson Jr.
Good defense on the backside from the Firebirds. Look at both deep wide receivers were covered. Johnson smartly throws that one further away. He did have a hitch route at the bottom of the screen, or the top as you're looking now, but don't want to leave that one short. Live for third down.
Speaking of short, it's 3rd down and 3. Minnesota's got to get to the 9. Johnson, snap, quick fire to the far side. It's caught by McAllister, and he leans forward over the tackler Singleton for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Minnesota. So a nice drive here from the Monsters as you get a look at defensive coordinator Brandon Cisse. And Brian, you mentioned this before we came on the air. Brandon, not just a defensive coordinator, he is one of the guys who's played for this team and a long storied career here in Albany Arena football.
It's hard to not be able to know who Brandon Cisse is when you come into this building.
They pitch it to Claude Davis, and Davis running to the near side gets to the 5. My understanding is they call Claude Davis the Claude Father. Claude Davis gets a couple inside the 5. He's going to bring up 2nd and goal.
Andrew, you mentioned with Cisse, when he played here, not only was a physically dominating player, but understands the game of AF1 so well. We saw it already with his defensive instincts in this first half, and you've seen a couple times throughout the game kind of putting his defenders in the right spot.
Flowers is the motion man. Johnson has time. He got hit as he threw, actually. Looked like he was going to have a lot of time. And Morris Joseph put a hit on. The pass goes incomplete. Joseph kind of came out of nowhere, which is tough for a guy at 6'2", 280.
Hard to miss, no doubt about it. And this is where, if you have a solid defense in AF1, it can become so prominent, because when you get close to the goal line, those windows shrink so much, and you almost force a quarterback to have to put it in a tight window. We'll see if Johnson can do it here on 3rd down.
You mentioned it almost gets harder to score the closer you get to the goal line, because these guys, these playmakers, like to have open space. Flowers is the motion man. Johnson looking his way, gonna put it up, and it is caught for the touchdown. As it's Jarve Flowers for the 4th time of this first half, and he gets up a little gimpy there, favoring that right side, but his 4th touchdown pass, reception rather, 4th touchdown pass for Javante Johnson, and Flowers went right up the tunnel there, but did a nice job to haul this one in, Brian.
Tremendous catch here. He was actually stopped at the top of the route by Smith, and Smith stayed with him, so nice ball from Johnson and the concentration to hold on to that.
Michael Hall out for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 1:02 to go in the first half, Albany leads by a touchdown. So it's all offense so far in this first half, and it's all that guy, Jarve Flowers. 4 touchdown receptions to keep Minnesota in this game with a minute to go before halftime. Come on back. It's AF1 semifinals on Vice. Bo, can you hear me or no? What's the package at halftime? What is it? Okay. And that's what we're doing coming out of halftime? Like, we'll throw to halftime, or are we coming back to us? I'm sorry, I wrote it down, but I... Okay, terrific. Thank you. Good work so far, everybody. Yep. 1:02 to go here in the first half. It's been an offensive display between number 2 seed Albany and number 3 seed Minnesota. Firebirds lead by a touchdown here with 1 minute and 2 seconds to go. Both teams have missed an extra point in this first half. Michael Hall to kick, and he's been drawing the ire of the Albany fans who remember when he was back here during the 2023 season, which, if you're an Albany Arena fan, I don't even have to go any further into discussing it. Hall kicks that one away. It bounces off the crossbar. It's bouncing around. This is a loose ball. There is a flag. Minnesota's got it at the 10-yard line. So Hall, just as we were talking about, placed that one perfectly. There are, I believe, 2 flags down. There's one on the near side and one on the far side. It looked like Minnesota recovered that football, and it was Carlos Thompson. Now we'll see what the penalties are, but this has a chance, Brian, to be a big game-changing play here.
Could be a big momentum change, as if you're an Albany Firebird fan, you're thinking, okay, we could score before the half, could take a 2-score lead, then get it coming out of halftime. Now, possibly, depending on what this call is, could be Minnesota's ball with a real opportunity to tie this game.
Flags came down on both sides of the field, and our referee crew discussing this, trying to iron everything out.
Game.
Yeah, this is a gigantic call. There's a ton of players out on the field as both teams trying to.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. We have a halo kicking team. During the loose ball, we have holding on the receiving team. Those fouls will offset. The ball will belong to the receiving team at the point of the recovery. First down, Albany.
And
This is the 1-minute timing rule is in effect.
Which I don't know what you're going to. So to iron everything out, there was a halo call on the kicking team. And then there was a penalty holding when the ball was trying to be recovered. You see Hall placed it right off that crossbar, and then it batted around like a pinball, and it's recovered there. We're going to take a timeout. Minnesota has challenged this, so they're going to take a look at this, and this is a huge call. So we'll step aside. We've got a big call coming back. When we return, Albany leads by a touchdown. Back here, there was a review as Minnesota challenged.
After further review, there is no foul for a halo.
So they were looking at
During
the halo
the loose
there.
ball, the receiving team held. Ball was covered by the kicking team. That'll be a half the distance. It'll be first down at the 5.5-yard line.
Wow, so Minnesota challenged that halo call. Turns out it's not a halo call, so it's been overturned. And not only do they not get penalized, Minnesota gets the football. The penalty on the Firebirds will be walked off. And so it'll be first and goal Minnesota, and a huge swing of events here at the end of this first half.
Well done from Coach Clark Jr. there to challenge that play, to have them look at the halo call, because this is a big momentum shift. And this is really where you kind of stay in games or extend leads, is at the end of halves. And what we could have been looking at, another 2-score lead for the Firebirds, turns into an opportunity to tie the game for Minnesota.
Well, it all started with Hall, the kicker, who bounced it off the bottom of the net and took that weird ricochet. Looked like the left side of that line started early. No flags. There's a flag in the end zone as they were looking for Flowers, I believe, who's back out there. Marcus Smith in
pass
coverage.
interference.
They're going to get Smith on the
number
hold
10.
at the top of the route here.
Half the distance from the original
Half
line
the
of
distance.
scrimmage.
It looked like the
First
left
down.
side of the Minnesota line started just a tad early. So Albany's defense backing up here. That's not the worst penalty to have, though,
Right.
because you get half the distance. It ends up being about a 2-yard penalty. As we get another look at it there, yeah, at the top of the route, Smith kind of tries to stop. They haven't been able to stop Flowers in this first half.
Any way possible here, if you're Minnesota, you could see them run this, get the clock moving, just in case they don't score.
They are the leading rushing team in AF1. They've got Claude Davis set up behind. They're going to run the football. A flag flies. Albany stands it up on defense, as it was Morris Joseph and Jair Stevens. And there's also a flag down, so I don't know if there's a procedure call. Looked like the flag came down almost immediately after the snap.
Yeah, right as it went, the flag came up, so it could be a false start on Minnesota, which could back them up again.
Legal formation, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
You shouldn't be having illegal formation calls when you're this close to the end zone, but nonetheless, it does back them up. The clock will stop because of the penalty.
We're under a minute to go, too, so 36 seconds. That's a lot of time here in arena football to try to get down and score. But that penalty, strangely enough, maybe helps Minnesota because it backs them up a little bit and gives them some more room, the receivers more room to operate. Johnson flings it into the end zone. It bounces off the boards, incomplete, as it was Mosby in coverage, and they were looking for Thompson.
Yep. Nice job there by Mosby, using the wall as another defender on that route. Got to the top of it, kind of got in front of the receiver, forcing Johnson to have to fit it in that tight window.
22 seconds to go in this first half. Albany up by a touchdown. Minnesota trying to draw even before halftime. Johnson takes the snap, flings it into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. And it's Flowers again, number 5 of this first half. And then he gives it to a souvenir to a fan who throws it right back towards the field of play. Jarvay Flowers, 5 receiving touchdowns. And for Javonte Johnson, that's his 5th passing touchdown of this first half.
Honestly, it's been Flowers keeping Minnesota in this game, and his ability to create space at the top of routes has been a difference maker in this first half.
Hall, the kicker, out for the extra point. He's the one who kind of got this whole thing started by placing that kickoff right into the crossbar, or right into the bottom of the net. Bounced around, it was recovered by Minnesota, and now he tries to tie the game up. The kick is up, and it is good with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So back-to-back touchdowns for Minnesota, and it's 34-34 here with 12 seconds to go. Just a tremendous first half 68 total points in this game so far.
As we've seen in most games, if you follow the AF1 circuit, there's no lead that is safe. And when you watch offenses like this and they start getting into rhythm, as you take a look at Flowers, he went into the locker room after the previous possession, comes right back out, scores another touchdown. Things getting a little bit more chippy now.
There's a lot of talking back and forth here.
Please reset.
The biggest plays in this first half, obviously the offensive plays, right?
19 seconds on the game clock.
Non-offensive plays, the stop by the Firebirds on that 4th down, and then that kickoff there that bounced around and gave Minnesota that extra possession that they got back. So the Monsters got the ball to start this game. Albany will get the ball to start the second half. They've still got 19, so they put 19 seconds. They put 7 seconds back on the clock. So that's enough time here to take a couple of shots.
Absolutely.
Then again, kicker Michael Hall's going to try to place one off of the boards again and try to maybe steal another possession for the Monsters.
That shows the importance of the special teams. I know we talked with Coach Ware beforehand saying how important that is. Let's see if they can do it again.
This one is going to sail right of the nets. And so that'll give Albany great field position here with 16 seconds to go. So as you see Hall, he with a great kick the last time, this one not a great kick. And so
19 seconds. 19,
it will give Albany good field position here, and they actually put those seconds back on. So 19 seconds, and Albany will get the ball 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
So we say, you know, as a kicker, if you're on the golf course, that was just a little bit of a pull.
Yeah,
yeah, just pulled that one a little bit.
Yeah. That looked like one of mine. After a few good tee shots, you tend to shank one.
You're feeling yourself a little bit. You get the nice bounce on the previous one. You're like, maybe I can hit this one a little bit into a tighter spot, and then you just kind of pull it. But a real opportunity here for the Firebirds to gain the advantage going into halftime.
And again, the Firebirds will get the ball to start the second half, and they want to try to start that second half with the lead. Right now we're tied, 19 seconds to go. Towns in the motion man. They swing it for Brown, and it was behind him, so maybe some miscommunication. They were just trying to get some yardage. That play only took 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication there from Castronova and Brown. I thought it looks like Brown wasn't even looking for this pass when Castronova let it go, and by the time he gained where the ball was, there really wasn't any chance that he was going to be able to make anything of it. But as you said, only 2 seconds off the clock. Time for another opportunity in second down.
Well, this game has been as advertised, number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed for a shot in next weekend's Arena Crown. Castronova. Pass bobbled in and out of the hands of Isaiah Scott. Nice job defensively there, as that was number 10, Jones.
This one here is the first one we've really seen from Castronova that's been a little off the mark, kind of up the field, off the hands of the receiver. And a good job using the physicality at the top end, the secondary to create. Now, third down, got to be a little bit more careful what you do here if you're the Firebirds.
It was Trevon Jones who came up and made the hit. Scott looked like he was going to bobble it and then bring it in, but it fell to the carpet, and it brings up 3rd down and 10. Hall is the motion man.
Oh, boy.
Flags fly. Castronova gets tossed down by Claude Davis. And Davis gets a high 5, but I think it's going to cost him 5 yards.
Yeah, not the worst penalty there from Davis, kind of looking up, seeing the play clock as low as it was, trying to get a little bit of an advantage there. Just before that play, you see Castronova telling the receiver, come on, let's go. We got to get this play off. And I think Davis was trying to initiate more of a false start, if anything, and now we're talking about it.
Yeah, this is a long conversation, so maybe this...
Offsides, defense.
No, it ends up being
5-yard penalties.
But that's not the worst penalty there. It's 3rd down, now it's 3rd and 5.
Please set the game clock to 11 seconds.
It could have been.
Exactly.
It's a good
11
calculated
seconds.
risk.
And start on my ready for play.
This Minnesota defense has given up 34 points in the first half. They won their first round playoff game 48-32 against Washington last weekend. They led that game 29-12 at halftime. So obviously playing a much better offense this week in Albany, but they're right there. And now another whistle. as I don't see any flags or anything. Maybe a timeout, perhaps?
Yeah, it could be a timeout called late at the end of this. A lot of confusion. Seems
Clock
from everybody on the
ran,
field.
everybody ran. And we're kind of, what
Please
was a
reset
track
the
meet?
game clock to 11
What was a track
seconds.
meet early on? We're kind of coming to a clunky
Start
end
on
to this
the-
Really
first
are.
half.
Ready. Start the clock on the snap.
So I don't know what the explanation was there. It's just going
Seems
to
like
restart
the
it.
clock started before the play went off. So I think trying to preserve as much as the clock integrity as they can at the end of this half. They stop the play, reset it, and then try again.
They put 11 seconds on the clock. I thought there was 13, but either way, it's 3rd and 5. Castronova time. He's going to deliver. Got a man open, and he is in for the touchdown. Dwayne Brown, number 3, with his 4th receiving touchdown of this first half. And for the Firebirds, 2 + 3 = 6. As it's number 2 Castronova to number 3 DB3 for another touchdown. 6th passing touchdown in this first half for Sam Castronova.
Yeah, this one a tough play. You see it a lot in AF1 where you get 2 receivers just running up the middle of the field and you're not sure which one's going to break right or left. That one late, Brown goes to the front part of the end zone. A beautiful ball from Castronova, and the Firebirds take the lead yet again.
Bailey Hale out for the extra point. 4 seconds remaining. The kick is up, and it is good. And so the Firebirds get the lead back. There's still 4 seconds to go. Ryan, we got another half to go. It's 41-34 here. If you had the under, just throw your tickets away.
Yeah. Yep, you do look like me up at Saratoga
What's
Race
the-
Course throwing the tickets right away. But
Yeah, what's the old line? Hold your tickets, hold your tickets.
Oh,
Nope,
man.
just dump the tickets if you had the under here in this game. 41-34. I don't know if anybody saw this kind of a offensive shootout coming in the first half. Albany averages 54 points a game, 2nd best in the league. Minnesota scored 48 last week in its first round win, and both teams are getting close to those numbers here in the first half.
we've seen some great plays by both offenses, and it started right from the jump, too, from Minnesota. And then the 2 defensive plays from Albany to get themselves the lead. Obviously, we've seen some special teams plays help Minnesota get back into this game throughout the first half. But if you're the Firebirds, if you told them we're going to be up 7 and we get the ball to start the second half, I think Coach Ware would be very excited about that.
Still 4 seconds to go. We've got another semifinal coming tomorrow afternoon here on Vice as top-seeded Nashville and 5th-seeded Michigan take the field at F&M Bank Arena in Clarksville, Tennessee. And those 2 teams, I'm sure, are watching this game. And if you're the defensive coordinators, you're probably scribbling furiously here to try to figure out how you're going to slow down one of these offenses next week in the Arena Crown game.
Plenty of notepads being filled up watching this one, no doubt about it.
Hale will kick it off. Not a lot of time left. Only 4 seconds as the Monsters will get it back. Hale drives it, and he put it through for the deuce. So that's a big 2 points for Bailey Hale, who has been 6 of 7 on his extra points and now gets a deuce here to end the first half.
Hale's been so close throughout this first half, just getting under that crossbar. This one, a low driving kick, gave him just enough distance to get over that crossbar for the deuce.
So the interesting thing, so that's a 2-point score for the Firebirds on the kickoff, goes through the uprights, it's called a deuce. However, now Minnesota gets kind of a set play here with 4 seconds to go rather than, having to return a kick and run this way, that way, the other way. They get basically a shot to throw it down the field, and I have a feeling who they're going to try to find. It might be Mr. Jarvay Flowers, who's got 5 touchdown receptions.
Yeah, he'll take anything that's a short pitch and catch here, but this is going to be a shot down the field.
Flowers is the motion man. Johnson steps up. He's just going to heave it down the field, and it is caught at the 1-yard line as the clock expires, as Thompson is down. Unbelievable end to this first half. Minnesota is saying he got into the end zone. Both referees are saying you're 3 feet short.
Ruling on the field,
Clark's
he
gonna
was down at the
think about
1
throwing
yard
this
line.
challenge flag
Might as well.
again.
Well, I don't know about might as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know how many closer plays you're going to have to the end zone.
Clark keeps looking up to see if they'll show the replay here in the arena, and they're not giving him any favors. From our vantage point in our broadcast area, we really couldn't see where he came down, but this ball just a heave down the boards, and it looked like it was going to be Smith going up for the interception, and then finally
Minnesota
it goes
is
into the
ruling
arms.
that it's challenging the
challenge
ruling
flag
on the
thrown.
field.
I
that
think
the
he's well
runner
short,
was
but if you're
down
Coach
at the
Darren
1 yard
Clark,
line.
you have a chance here to score points.
Right.
Or you go to the half down by 9. So I think a smart challenge here. They already won a challenge in this first half. I think they're going to end up losing this.
Yep.
But what a catch by Thompson, and then trying to get to the end zone. I mean, what a throw by Johnson. He just kind of heaves it up there. And we're going to take a look with all of you here at home. So Thompson catches it in the air at the 5. Yeah, he's short. He's going to be see.
Yeah. I think the half a yard is a good spot by the official. But that one,
After
a little
further
too
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Too close for comfort if you're an
It's
Albany
the end
fan,
of the
for
half.
sure.
No touchdown.
What a
Minnesota
first half
has
we
lost
had
their
here
challenge
at
for the remainder of the
MVP
game.
Arena in Albany, New York. Outstanding. 77 total points on the scoreboard. As we hit halftime, it's Albany 43, Minnesota 34. Stick around for halftime and make sure you come back for the second half of this outstanding semifinal. Firebirds lead by 9 as we hit the break, 43-34.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Well, that was wild.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the AF1 Season Pass. I'm your host, Jeff Levac, and it is my pleasure, my honor to introduce you to two of Hi, everybody. Welcome to the AF1 Season Pass. I'm your Hi, everybody. Welcome to the AF1 Season Pass. I'm your host, Jeff Levac, and it is my pleasure, my honor to introduce you to two of my newest friends. They don't know we're friends yet. They're about to find out. Cody and Shauna Trapp. They are down there in Texas, I believe, but I'm introducing you so you can introduce us to the newest member of the AF1.
Well, my name's Cody Trapp, and this is Shauna. We are bringing the ATX Bulls to the Austin community, not built for the community, but built with the community.
I love it. So the Bulls are coming. They're going to be part of the AF1 in 2027. You say built with the community. Could you tell me what that means?
That means we're going to have a strong community backing. For teams here in the Austin area, we are really building this for the community. That comes with youth camps, public greetings. Some of our biggest partners that are on board will have Vermont's Taylor, 2005 national champion. He's our head coach. Our special teams quarter, Richmond McGee, he is also on board and part of that 2005 national championship as well. So we're bringing the people that the community wants to meet, and we're making it reality. So we're building this football team with the community because they ask, we shall produce.
I love that. Okay, so Cody, Shauna, it's about the community. Why arena football? What about arena football matches so well with the Austin community?
Well, there's a big thing that separates. I played arena football for a long time, and I'm a big fan of arena football. It differs from indoor football. It's a lot more exciting. There's a slight rule changes to keep the games closer, and that's what the fans want to see. They want to see close games, high scoring, hard hitting. Arena football, there's no out of bounds. You got walls, you got hard hits. None of this step out of bounds and all that good stuff. So it's very exciting. Arena football, I believe, is what the community is missing here in the Austin area. And so, like I said, we're going to bring it to them, and we're going to put on a show and not just make it about football, but the experience itself. We're bringing in high-profile halftime shows. We're going to have people that the community want to meet. We're working on a partnership with UT right now to bring in some of their players that are top names, Colin Simmons, Arch Manning. Now, don't quote me. If we can get them, we're going to get them. And that's what we're here to bridge the gap between the community and actually making some of these dreams come true and meeting some of their fans.
So Cody, you said you played, so you know the difference between indoor and arena. Is that why you chose the AF1? Because it's the only league with the nets. It's the only league that actually goes by the old school arena rules.
Yes and no. We love the rules and the entertainment aspect of arena football, but we also love the fact of what Jerry's building and to get the community to engage with it. I feel that the community could relate and wants to go see some very good football. But essentially it came down to relationships. I've met some of the owners, Albert down in San Diego. Just talked to him last night. He's talking about championships. I said, hey, wait a minute, buddy. Austin Bulls are coming to town. So it's just that camaraderie, the family. It's kind of like a big community within a community. And we are going to bridge that gap by letting the Austin community into some of these rival games, provide executive or exclusive experiences when we do play San Diego. He's a Marine guy. I'm an Army guy. Go Army. So that we chose arena football based on what we believe the Austin community wants to see, and plus the relationships we've built with Jerry. Christie's great. Albert's great. So that's kind of where we're at.
Shauna, you've been kind of back in this thing, but obviously Cody played the game. He loves the game. You're a football wife, but now you're an ownership wife. What is your role going to be with this team moving forward?
I'm going to be helping out with operations, just keeping the team rolling. We have 5 kids, so now I get to have 25 kids with these players on our team and everything. Team mom right here. So really excited, looking forward to creating that camaraderie within our team as well.
See, this is what we love, the AF1, to love the rules, to love the game, to bring that family atmosphere, to embrace the community. The ATX Bulls, welcome to the AF1, guys.
Thank you. We're super excited.
Very excited. And unfortunately, we're going to be crushing a lot of dreams here soon. But Albert, I know Albany has a great team. Nashville has another great team, but we want to come in and set a standard that, hey, just because we're a new team, we're not going to roll over. And fun fact about the ATX Bulls, our head coach and our special teams coordinator were both on that 2005 National Parade downtown Austin. When we win in 2027, the next parade, they're going to be on that 20 years later.
I absolutely love it. Welcome to the AF1. Cody, Shauna Trapp, the ATX Bulls. Make sure you check out theaf1.com for all the latest news and all the great information about these guys and any other teams that might be brave enough to try to take on these Bulls in 2027. And remember, in the AF1, the ball never dies.
Championships are celebrated, legacies are treasured. Some victories last a season, the greatest ones last forever. Celebrate life's biggest wins with craftsmanship that lasts for generations. Generou & Company Jewelry, downtown Duluth.
For Andrew Santillo, Brian Mariano here at MVP Arena in Albany, New York. What a tremendous first half. The offense, 77 total points. As we take a look at some of the highlights from that first half, there was a lot. It was
Try to
a
cut
lot
it
of
down
scoring.
after that first half between how quickly out of the blocks Minnesota started with everything you've seen. Flowers has been the guy for Minnesota. He's been kind of pushing them. Well, they were up, then they were down again, but Albany's always been there to respond. Brown doing backflips in the end zone, and the fans enjoying every second of this. And Castronova, again, it just seems like every time Minnesota answers, Albany has the answer right back to them.
I mean, back and forth we went. Biggest lead in that first half. Albany had a 2-score lead when it was 27-14. Albany's going to get the ball to start the second half. You know, obviously it's going to come down to which defense can stand up and make a few plays here to try to slow down the other team's offense.
Yeah, you're going to see 2 to 3 big moments in this second half that will decide this game, whether it's a defensive stop, whether it's a deuce, whether it's a crazy bounce off of the net on a kickoff. I believe the scoring will continue. It just depends on those 2 to 3 moments that could show up and rear its ugly head.
The 2 seed and the 3 seed battling a spot in the arena crown. The winner will play the winner of tomorrow's semifinal between Nashville and Michigan. 6 touchdowns for Sam Castronova in that first half, 5 for Javante Johnson, 4 for Dwayne Brown, and a partridge in a pear tree there in that first half. We're going to take a break and be back for the second half here from Albany, New York. Getting you set here for the second half. One spot in the arena crown on the line. Sam Castronova, plenty to smile about in that first half, as he hasn't played since June the 20th. Throws 6 touchdowns in that first half. Of course, in the last game he played, he threw 10 touchdowns.
He's on his way here.
That's right. And he may need 10 the way this game is shaping up between Albany and Minnesota as we get set to start the second half. Oh, Minnesota right in this one here. The difference could be the third quarter. Albany has had its way with teams in the third quarter. They've outscored their opponents, Brian, 178-69 in the third quarter of games this year. And really, that was the difference when these two teams played again. That was, 4 months ago. But Albany outscored Minnesota 29-6 after the halftime break to win that game 50-23. Obviously, it's going to take more than 50 to win here tonight. Minnesota's got a chance, though. They're down by 9 as we start this second half. Albany will get the football to start, as Michael Hall will get ready to boot this football away.
Be a big opening possession for the Firebirds as well if they're able to gain possession off of this kick. Really short kick, too.
Taken at the 1 by Townsend. Makes a move to the left. Now cuts back to his right. 15, and he's pelted into the boards by Thompson. And that's where Albany will start the first drive of the second half.
You talked about those adjustments at halftime. Right now, obviously no adjustment really needed offensively for either team, but for Albany to come out of the locker room, get that first punch, and kind of don't let Minnesota hang around is kind of the feeling.
Well, as I said, they've outscored teams in the third quarter. Coach Ware, that's his calling card, is kind of go to the locker room, make adjustments, and be able to play as well as you did in the first half in the second half. Meanwhile, try to make sure that other team doesn't play as well as it did in the first half, and that's been the calling card since Coach Damon Ware has been here in Albany, going all the way back to 2021. Here's Ajay Hall gets loose, and he's got a first down all the way to the Minnesota 15-yard line.
We didn't see much of on that first half, but I like this, getting him into space, couple blockers in front of him, quick pitch and catch, and able to get a nice gain on that first play of the second half.
Yeah, Coach Ware said he can fly, and he shows you there as he's just knifing through the Monsters secondary. Gets down to the 15-yard line, about a 15-yard pickup, and Albany is cooking. Second offensive play. They hand it off to Zacher, just trying to catch Minnesota off guard. And it's Minnesota who's the leading rushing team in this league, but Coach Ware always likes to establish the run, especially when you need to get those close yards. And Zacher picks up 1.5.
I kind of change it up a bit, throw a little wrinkle towards the defense, maybe get them to not sit back so much. Kind of helps your wide receivers gain a little bit here, but staying in rhythm are the Firebirds.
Townsend, the motion man on the far side. Castronova loads up. He throws just off the fingertips of Darian Townsend.
Boy, Castronova really has been on the mark the whole game. That one just a little bit out of the outstretched hands of Townsend. And he had him too. A beautiful move at the top of the route to create the space. Just a little bit too much air underneath that one.
Had Townsend open. Townsend 24 receiving touchdowns during the regular season, which led the league. When you mentioned about the run, Coach Darren Clark talked about, got to keep that defense honest, right? And that's why Minnesota's tried to run the ball effectively this season, give the receivers more room to operate. This one is dropped off short to Scott, fights away from a defender and gets close to the first down. It's going to be 4th down and short here for the Firebirds. This is a big play early in this third quarter.
Nice job from Scott there to use the balance near the boards, not being able to just get knocked out of play, creating a 4th and short. But I agree, Andrew, this is a big play for momentum purposes early on in this second half.
Albany's got to get to the 5-yard line, so they need about 1.5 yards here. Do they run it with Zacher? All receivers are lined up to the near side of the screen. Castronova tried to get somebody to jump. He's going to throw it. It's a haul, and it's knocked away, incomplete. And Castronova is looking at Coach Ware. He's saying I think he thought he drew them off sides, but it's going to be a turnover on down. So Minnesota makes the first play here. He's, I think, lobbying for Coach Ware to challenge this.
He's got the hand on the flag. I'm wondering if he can challenge it, one. But a beautiful play from Randall in the secondary there to read that route and undercut it. Looks like
I'm
Coach
not sure if you can challenge that.
I don't think you can.
And Coach Ware and Sam Castronova walking off the sideline. So Albany gets all the way down to the field to the 6-yard line, and they turn the ball over on down. So that's the first time they have not scored when they've had the ball on offense in this game. And so Minnesota now with the ball on its first drive of this second half, trailing by 9, trying to get right back into this game. Johnson set up as he does in the shotgun, takes the snap. Pass caught on the near side of your screen, getting out to the 10-yard line. Pickup of 4 is McAllister, the bigger of the receivers, 6'4", 220.
Nice job by Mosby there to get low, understanding how big McAllister is, kind of using the board as a defender and then being able to keep that to a short gain. But Minnesota is exactly what you wanted coming out of half. You get the stop. Now you have an opportunity for your offense to cut into this lead.
And an opportunity for Minnesota. Johnson, nice pass there. He completes it to Thompson. Thompson running in the open field. Gets away from a tackler and goes all the way for the touchdown. Nice touch on that pass from Johnson, who, as we look back down the field, he doesn't have his helmet. He just kind of floated that one into Thompson, who then made everybody miss. Had a lot of room to run, then broke away from a tackle of Marcus Smith, who wrapped him up. Actually, a couple of guys, Mosby also there. And it's the first non-Jarve Flowers touchdown, as going in for the score was Thompson Jr.
Beautiful setup there to have that play. Everyone's going deep, and then beautiful touch, as you mentioned, from Johnson to see the defender cutting across and just float it over his head. And then the second effort to be able to see 2 defenders in front of you, break out of the tackle, and then finish all the way into the end zone.
Minnesota's going to have to hurry here. Well, they reset the play clock, 15 seconds. They had the kicking ball. They had to retrieve it out of their bench. So Michael Hall will kick it out of the hold of Johnson. Ooh. And there was 2 Firebirds who almost got home, Prince and Morris Joseph, but the kick is up and good. And with 9:49 to go in the third, Minnesota within 2 as they get the turnover on downs defensively, and then the nice touchdown pass from Javante Johnson to Carlos Thompson Jr. as he wiggles away from the defense and gets in for 6. It's a 2-point game early in the third.
Team Blue
just threw a flag on this guy.
Oh boy.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, Minnesota coach. That'll be tacked on at the end of the kick.
Back here in Albany, it's 43-41. While we were away, there was an unsportsmanlike foul or penalty assessed to the Minnesota
Deuce
bench.
is off the table.
One of their
There
coaches
is
was
no
on
deuce.
the field, like all the way across the field, walking with the referees. And when they got to midfield, one of the refs threw the flag. It wasn't head coach Darren Clark Jr. It was another coach. So that'll be, they said, assessed on the kickoff here. So I'm not sure what that was all about.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the argument would be coming off of a touchdown possession. But nonetheless, after this kickoff, wherever it may end up, it's a 10-yard penalty added to it.
So Michael Hall will boot this away. It looks like he's going to squib kick it here. He kicks kind of a line drive, hauled in midway through the end zone by Townsend. 5, 10, 15, makes the man miss. There's a flag down, 15-10, barreling through the Minnesota special teams as he took down the kicker Hall, which, again, much to the crowd's delight. But this is going to come back.
Yeah.
This is going to come back here.
Definitely some energy on that return, no doubt about it, but there's looks like holding.
During the return,
so this penalty will bring the
10.
kick back, but then they'll have to walk off the other penalty.
That will offset the penalty of the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Half.
First down, Albany.
Although maybe it'll just stay in the same spot because where the flag, maybe they would have to go
decline
back
it.
10 and then
Right.
they'd have to come back 10.
Yep. Yep, so it ends up just being start at the 18-yard line for the Firebirds. And now, again, you've come out, first possession of the game, and it's been kind of a choppy first 5 minutes.
Even end of the first half,
right
into the second half.
To see if the Firebirds can get back in rhythm after they had the 4 and out on the first possession of the second half.
Yeah, Albany drove down the field. They were down close to the goal line, and they turned it over on downs. Sam Castronova thought he had drew the Minnesota defense off sides. This pass is batted away, as jumping up and batting that one away is Shai Hill, who is one of their best defenders, if not their best defender, the linebacker out of Jones College, 9 sacks on the year. And Coach Clark said he may have even had more than 9. Maybe we think he's the leading sack guy in this league. But he gets up there and shows the versatility there and knocks down that pass from Castronova.
Yeah, that just shows definitely the versatility. I agree with that word used there, Andrews, because not only are you just a pass rusher playing that DN spot, but being able to look up and use your eyes to see that quick pass coming. A nice defensive play.
So 2nd and 10 for the Firebirds at their own 18-yard line. Castronova going to load up, takes a shot all the way down the field. And this should be a penalty on the defense as Dwayne Brown comes barrel rolling through the end zone. And not a very difficult call there. As
pass interference.
There shouldn't be any argument here
10-yard
from the Minnesota
penalty,
bench, whether
automatic
they're upset
first
about
down.
what has happened already in this game or that play in general. The defender not even playing the ball at all.
Yeah, it's Trevon Jones. You see him there. The ball comes into your screen after the 2 guys go rolling through the end zone. So the ball will move to the Minnesota side of the field. It'll be 1st and 10, Albany at the Minnesota 22.
I like that play call, though, coming off of they wanted the quick pass. This one, take a shot deep. You can turn, nothing into something there, and now an opportunity.
Castronova takes the snap under center. Pass caught. Awkward tackle there on Townsend from Trevon Jones. But it's going to be 1st and goal for the Firebirds as Townsend hauls that one in at the 6.
Nice little Z route here from Townsend, kind of pushes the defender upfield. And with his quickness, that's almost an impossible route to cover. Good job closing out to at least prevent him from getting into the end zone. But right on the doorstep already after a couple plays are the Firebirds.
Castronova spreads things out here. He's in the shotgun with Zacher to his left. Fake the run. They tried to throw it to Zacher. This should be an incomplete pass, I would think.
So
and let's see what they rule it here.
There'll be a lot to unfold, whether that's a
There's
forward
also
pass
a flag,
and a flag.
down,
Yep.
it looks like. There's a flag down. I don't think that was a catch. It looked like it went right through the arms of Zacher.
Illegal formation, defense. The MAC was
That's
in the
the
zone.
flag.
That didn't
Half
seem
the
to be a
distance
catch.
from
That
the
looked
original
like,
line of
you
scrimmage,
know,
still first down.
the Buffalo Bills went viral on social media recently when they greased up the watermelons and it went right through everybody's wickets. It looked like that. That's exactly what it looked like it happened to Zacher there.
So we can see a challenge here because from that angle, Castronova takes a step forward, maybe a half step forward.
Do you think
And then
it's
when
a
he
backward?
throws it, I think they're arguing more it's a backward pass, which then would be a fumble. And
Yeah, that's close.
yeah,
It's close.
It's definitely much closer. And now when you use those challenge flags, kind of depending on when, becomes a big deal because that could be a huge turnover with the Firebirds inside the 5-yard line.
Either way, though, the penalty was assessed to Minnesota,
Correct.
so it brings Albany inside the 5, and we'll redo 1st and goal. So a lot to iron out there. This another pass into traffic, and it's batted around incomplete. So a couple of dangerous plays here, and Dwayne Brown took a hit up high, lost his helmet, and is a little slow to get up, which is something of note.
Got
As
another flag on the field, too.
Brown may have gotten hit up high there, and that's why he lost his helmet, perhaps.
So this has become quite a
Illegal
slow start to the
defense.
second half.
The MAC and Jack were stacked. That's a half the distance from the original line of scrimmage, first down.
Another illegal defense called on Minnesota.
Although, again, these aren't the worst penalties
Right.
to commit because you're giving up maybe 1.5 yard. So you'd rather commit a penalty than give up a touchdown.
Right.
But they said the MAC and the Jack were stacked.
Chai Hill actually recognized that play immediately, too, so it kind of hurts them, obviously giving up the yard and a half, but Albany having everything their way on this possession.
Castronova puts his head down, and they're going to try to push him in. More flags fly. He was short of the goal line as the Monsters stack him
boy.
up, and now some pushing and shoving after as Castronova's helmet is loose, and now another flag flies.
I don't think there's any flags left.
And Minnesota player has lost his helmet and lost his cool. And so now some more to unsort here. As we talked about pregame, Brian, it was chippy right from the start here. Some of that went away in the first half as we had teams going up and down the field.
Johnson came off the bench
Yeah, that's
to try and calm his
that also
defensive
should
unit
be
down. Wow.
that also should be a penalty.
Yeah,
and
there
they
it
just
is.
threw another flag there.
And now we have
And
more
now
going on.
the coaches are, and I think
Oh, this is getting out of hand now.
the Minnesota owners perhaps down in that bench area. Johnson's coming out saying, I was just trying to get everybody to calm down, but that's one of the, you can't
Yeah.
come off the bench.
Oh, another
And
flag out now. I don't know how they have any more flags.
That doesn't look like a flag. That looks like just a T-shirt.
Oh,
but
my goodness. Who knows at this point in the game?
Coach Ware looked like he was in a heated discussion with somebody on the Minnesota bench.
So we got a T-shirt, 4 flags, and a lot to sort out here.
On a play that was maybe a 1 yard,
Yeah.
0 yard run up the middle. And the referee's got to get this under control here as we've had multiple plays in a row with penalties. And a lot to sort out here if you're our referee crew on what was a 1st and goal play from just outside the 1 yard line.
Well, we first had the first 2 flags that were thrown while the play was happening. Then you have the flag thrown when Johnson coming off the bench. And then part of the ownership group for Minnesota who joins everyone on the field. And then pushing and shoving. Castronova's got no helmet on. Randall for Minnesota had no helmet on. So this is going to be a pretty lengthy discussion on how this is all going to be sorted out.
Well, and I think so. Javonte Johnson, again, I think he was just trying to tell the referee, hey, I was trying to get my guys to
And
calm
he was.
down. But you're not supposed to come off the bench
Correct.
because that could keep things kind of rolling in the wrong direction. So you don't want anybody to come off the bench in a scenario like that. So that's almost an automatic flag. Castronova came up with his helmet off. One of the Monsters defenders came up with his helmet off.
Yeah, that was
I
Randall.
I think that's LeBaron Mallory.
Yep.
Again, this is a Minnesota defense playing without Delvon Randall, who is one of their best defensive backs. He's here.
Well, let's see exactly what's
We have
being
illegal
sorted out
aiding
here.
the runner on Albany, number 69. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. After the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct. 79, Albany. Number 70, Albany. Number 5, Minnesota. Those are all counters. They're first for disqualification. We also have the owner for Minnesota coming onto the field. He's been ejected.
So to kind of take this all in, that is a big call just for what could happen. It's already been a chippy contest already, but now you have Johnson, the quarterback, who gains an unsportsmanlike conduct. If you were to get another one, now you're playing without your quarterback. The ownership group of Minnesota waving their way down the tunnel.
So it was Johnson who got the unsportsmanlike. 2 offensive linemen for Albany, Crawford and Nicholson, got personal fouls, which are their first fouls towards potentially being ejected.
For a 1-yard quarterback sneak.
And they also called a penalty. Unlike in the NFL, you cannot aid the runner. Right. So that was the initial penalty. As they called Zacher, who got behind Castronova to try to, push him towards the goal line. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 5. They're going to throw it into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown.
Wow, what a catch over the boards. A lot of contact. And after everything, here's Townsend saying, you know what? We don't need to sneak it in. I'll just run it in. And it looks like is that another flag on the field on
Personal
this
foul,
play?
roughing the passer, number 1.
Looks like it could be
defense.
another post-play
That penalty be assessed
as
after
Townsend came up
the
without his
kickoff.
helmet. He did have the ball. And it's his 2nd receiving touchdown for Darian Townsend, who ran all the way down and gave an autograph to a fan. Now remember, he's the holder for extra points, so he's got to run all the way back down the field. But what a catch, Brian, from Darian Townsend, going head over heels.
Beautiful ball from Castronova over the linebacker and in the perfect spot for Townsend to corral that in. Woo! Take a breath.
Bailey Hale out for the extra point. Kick is off the left upright and no good. And with 5:52 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's Albany 49, Minnesota 41. Things heating up, both on the field and on the scoreboard, as Albany has a 1-score lead midway through this 3rd quarter.
Thanks for having us, Firebirds. Bring your proud partner of your Firebirds. Get ready for some happy birthday wishes. Happy 12th to Chase Miller. Happy birthday to Tamari and Mariano Love. Happy 51st birthday, Dan Frisbee. Happy 16th birthday to Sam Frisbee, Mariano Love. To Joe Roger. Aquaman must be here. Happy 47th to Jason Momoa.
Oh.
Happy 25th to Jeffrey Bisner. Happy birthday, Maureen Lake. And happy birthday to Dylan Small. Fans of Firebirds, we'd like to welcome the Regional Food Bank in Northeastern New York. Cindy Bucket, Elf Barbalunga, Dorcian Rosiner. And Tony Walkerman,
Man.
Marissa Reed, and Amy Pego. Welcome also to the 2000.
So we've only two touchdowns.
I know.
Knockout women's football.
2 touchdowns in 90 seconds of the first half.
On your betting, Zoom didn't just happen here.
Albany 49, Minnesota 41. 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. Albany kicking off. Both teams have scored a touchdown in this quarter, but Minnesota's inched closer because they made the extra point. Albany missed its extra point. Hale's shot is through for the deuce. So forget that. 2 points and Albany back up by 10 as the second deuce of this game for Bailey Hale. And that is a big, just missed the extra point, Brian, but he gets that deuce there, his second of the game.
I get the old 2-for-1 action. I won't make the extra point, but come right back and nail the 50-yarder. Why not?
So he's 5 for 7, I believe, on extra points and 2 deuces. So he's at 9 points. Coach Ware said, hey, if our special teams can be in double digits, we'll be in a good place.
Yeah.
And Hale, the fourth kicker, just signed to the team 2 days ago. Minnesota back with the football. Johnson had an open Carlos Thompson and just sailed it as he was looking over the middle. Would have had a lot of room to run, a first down and more if Thompson hauled that in.
Yeah, this will be an interesting possession for Minnesota. A lot of high energy, and now we have another flag thrown after the play. So
After the
definitely
play,
a lot of jawing going on the field right now.
unsportsmanlike conduct, number 7 on the defense. That's his first towards disqualification. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's a unsportsmanlike on Morris Joseph Jr. So his first unsportsmanlike. These are like, we just finished with the World Cup there, the yellow cards. Now we've got, I can't keep track. This guy's got one, this guy's got one, this guy. Albany's got 3 guys with 1 personal foul. Minnesota's got 1 guy. They try to run to the line quick, and the pass is caught for a pickup of 5, as it was McAllister.
We talked about Coach Cisse in the first half and his understanding his defense, and you see after that play going over to Joseph Jr. just saying you need to chill, man. We got to just keep our composure throughout this whole thing, and that's a beautiful play defensively by the Firebirds on that second down play.
Dante Mason and Drew Singleton. Dante Mason signed midway through the year, and Drew Singleton, who's arguably the defensive player of the year in this league, 89 tackles. He was the leader, Brian, by 24 tackles. He had 89. The next highest guy had 65 in the league. We haven't called his name all that much, number 5 for the Firebirds. Meanwhile, number 5 for the Monsters has the ball in his hands. It's Johnson. Nice catch on the sideline by Carlos Thompson, and it's good for a first down.
Heck of a catch by Thompson. That ball well above his head, using the ups. Go up and grab it, taking the contact into the wall, and holding on for a first down.
Thompson's had a nice game. He had 15 catches in the regular season. Had just 1 catch in the playoff win last week. It was a touchdown catch against Washington. Shotgun snap. Johnson gonna go for it all into the end zone, and it is bouncing around, intercepted. It's picked off by Dante Mason.
He's got space.
Mason's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Got a flag over here.
How did Dante Mason make that interception? Brian, you noted there's a flag down. How did that ball, it looked like it was off the receiver's hands, maybe off the boards, and then Mason hauls it in.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Oh, roughing
Defense,
the passer
number
is going to be
13.
the call.
10-yard penalty, first down.
Wow, erase that. Dante Mason with a highlight reel type play to try to change the momentum in this game, but it's going to be a roughing the passer call. How did he catch this ball? Well, it bounced around off the boards. It went off the hands of McAllister, and then Mason took it all the way back. It's similar to a play that happened in week 1 where Marcus Smith stole a ball right out of the hands of Jarvey Flowers. That did not go back for a touchdown, but it was in the end zone, the opposite end zone. But instead, it's all for naught as there's a roughing the passer, and it will set Minnesota up first and goal.
We've seen penalties pretty prominent in this second half, and right there keeps Minnesota in this game.
Got to snap it, 1 on the play clock. Johnson has time, running out of time now. Pass, his receiver was falling down, and the pass sailed incomplete. He's looking for a flag, as that's Thompson. I didn't see much contact there. It looked like Thompson kind of came out of his break and then just slipped as he was going towards the boards, but he is incredulous that a call was missed. Maybe we'll get a look here at this replay. Now, this is another replay of the interception, which may have maybe found its way on Sports Center should that have held up for Dante Mason. As what a play there. But again, nullified due to the penalty. Here is Johnson. Johnson throws high, incomplete. Big collision in the end zone.
A lot of contact at the end of the play there. We've seen a few of the throws on this possession have been well high for Johnson. Dangerous spots for his receivers, but a huge third down play nearing the end of this third quarter.
3rd and goal from the 9. You know who's been quiet so far in this second half has been Jarvey Flowers. Had 5 receiving touchdowns in the first half. Johnson, shotgun, pass, caught, twisting him is McAllister. The ball was down. Albany brings the ball back with Mosby, but the referees say he was down. It's going to bring up 4th and goal from the 3. And right now, Mosby's got to get back down the field here. So it's going to be 4th and goal for the Monsters. Final 65 seconds of this third quarter. Albany leads by 10.
Talked about coming into the second half, there's going to be big moments throughout this second half. This is a big one defensively for the Firebirds.
It's about as loud as it's been in this MVP arena here in the capital city of the state of New York. 4th and goal. Johnson puts his man in motion. He fakes the shuttle. They're going to throw it to the offensive lineman, and it's good for a touchdown. As it's Gunnar Hurlbert, the 6'4", 315-pound offensive lineman out of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. And they pull a rabbit out of the hat there with Hurlbert for the touchdown.
What a time to make that call if you're Coach Clark Jr. A big moment in the second half. Quarterback's been struggling a bit on this drive, and you pull in a nice, easy one. Give the big man a little love in the end zone.
Yeah, you know, the whole time that ball's coming towards him, he's saying, just catch it, just catch it. Hall out for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 12 seconds to go in the third quarter, what a wild one we have had as back and forth we go. It is Albany 51, Minnesota 48. 3-point game. We're going to step aside. Come on back. AF1 semifinal action on Vice.
assisted living communities. Thanks for being a proud sponsor of your Albany Firebirds. And now, back over to back 9, Brian. What do you got, Brian? It looks like 3 t-shirts.
That's right, and Firebird fans, we need you more than ever right now. Make some noise!
Could see those t-shirts come in the crowd. Make some noise.
51-48, Firebirds leading it by 3. Final stages of this third quarter. It's been a low-scoring third quarter relative to the rest of the game. With 77 points in that first half.
No shortage of action packed in the third quarter, though.
Yes, we've seen it bubble up here as both teams know what's on the line. It's a spot in the arena crown. Hall boots it through for the deuce. And that for Hall is big as it cuts this to a 1-point game, 7 seconds to go in this third quarter.
We've seen special teams start to become even more important. Got a couple deuces in that second quarter, and then the tricky bounce off of the bar for Minnesota. That one a deuce to cut it to within 1. And every time you think one team has the advantage, here we are nearing the end of the third quarter, and it's just a 1-point game.
Well, Albany has been so
That's the end of
dominant
the
third
third
quarters
quarter.
in this season, but it was actually Minnesota outscoring Albany 16-8 in that third quarter to pull within 1. And we have got a great finish coming up for you. Albany 51, Minnesota 50. Come on back for this fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter here in Albany, New York. It is as close as it could get. Andrew Santillo and Brian Mariano, so glad you could join us here on Vice for this semifinal Saturday. Albany and Minnesota fighting for a spot in the arena crown to take on tomorrow's winner between Nashville and Michigan in next weekend's championship game. And we got 1 quarter, Brian, left to decide it. Albany 51, Minnesota 50.
Grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and enjoy, because this is going to be a fast and wild fourth quarter. And we saw the game kind of shift there in the third quarter. The adjustments made. It was kind of a choppy third quarter after all the scoring in the first half. We'll see if the Firebirds can start off the fourth quarter with a drive.
Start this drive at the 5-yard line. Castronova pass complete. Up to the 10, 15. They got the first down as Isaiah Scott. And he's out to the 16-yard line, 11-yard pickup on first down.
Nice job of Castronova changing the arm angle there to make sure he got that pass over to Scott. Scott making one move and then using that power to get the extra few yards for the first down.
Puts his man in motion. It's Dwayne Brown. Castronova, time in the pocket. Throws it all the way down the field, and it's caught by Townsend for the touchdown. Unbelievable. It bounced off of the boards and was hauled in by Townsend. Incredible catch for the touchdown.
Sometimes it's all about the bounces that you get. And right there, that pass, it looked like Townsend kind of slowed up on the route. Castronova fires it away a little over his head, but doink, right off there. Townsend sees it and corrals it in for the touchdown.
Well, they say the ball never dies here in AF1. I'm not sure if that is exactly what they thought about as it was going down the sideline. Luckily for Albany, none of those fans jumped in there. It bounced off the boards, ricocheted right into the arms of Townsend for his 3rd receiving touchdown of this game, 8th passing touchdown for Castronova. The extra point is up, and it is good from Bailey Hale. And so with 13:42 to go in this game, it is 58-50. What a play. What unbelievable play by Townsend.
Hey, you mentioned it too. It's smart by the fans who are right next to the boards to recognize that ball is still in play. And incredible concentration by Townsend to not give up on the play, one, but then to relocate the ball and then come back and be able to get it. Now you're looking at it here. There's a lot of jawing in front of the Firebirds bench.
Yeah, Shai Hill looked like he was going to go into the Firebirds bench. I'm not sure, he was pointing like something's in there or something. Looked like he was going to jump over the boards into the Firebirds bench. He got one leg up on the boards, and then luckily, I think for him, he didn't get all the way over.
Oh my goodness, it's just a lot of passion between both of these clubs, and they've shown it on the field in various different ways, but good job there from Coach Clark Jr. to get over there, kind of get his players back to their respective benches. And
well, so here's the thing, too, if you're Minnesota, Sam Castronova's really good. 2025 AF1 MVP. I mean, you're thinking, come on. I mean,
right.
The ball is incomplete. It hits the boards. It could have ricocheted any single direction. I mean, the football is an oblong figure. It hits the boards and just keeps kind of spinning towards Darian Townsend, who's running, doesn't even break stride, and just catches it into the end zone. I mean, we're getting another look at it here.
And this view is fantastic because you can see it right off of there over the fans.
Well, one fan reached up for it.
Then Townsend's like, okay, I'll take that. Thank you very much. But I agree. If you're in Minnesota, you got to be like, why can't the bounces go our way if that's the case? But nonetheless, a lot of football still to be played. Fans calling for the deuce here.
Bailey Hale boots it away, and it just fell underneath that bar, so it will come out, I believe, to the 20, and that's where Minnesota will start. Hale has had a tremendous game considering he was signed only 2 days ago. He's got the 2 deuces, and I believe he is 6 for 8 in extra points, if my math is correct.
Not too bad for being signed 48 hours ago.
Maybe 7 for 9. 6 for 8, I think, is correct.
But now for Minnesota, if you're Johnson, and for this offense, you got to keep the train moving here. You got to be able to respond and go down and answer the score that the Firebirds just had.
Yeah, if you're Coach Clark, I mean, this is a 1-score game here with 13 minutes to go. Minnesota took a long bus ride from Duluth, Minnesota, all the way east to Albany, New York, and it's a 1-score game here in the 4th quarter. Johnson has some time, sends it down the field, and it's caught over the boards. Are they going to say brought that pass in at the 10-yard line? Did Thompson?
Wow,
what a
catch is right. My goodness, this one just over the outstretched hands of the defender. Looks like it's going to be picked, but it's knocked back into play, and being able to concentrate on that ball. We've seen some incredible plays throughout this semifinal game, and it continues to deliver.
What a catch from Carlos Thompson Jr. McAllister's the motion man. They drop it short for Flowers. Flowers tackled at the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal there. 5-yard pickup. Dante Mason with the tackle.
The Firebirds done a nice job of keeping Flowers at bay throughout this second half. And even that one just a few yard gain as opposed to the explosive plays we saw throughout the entire first half. But an opportunity for Minnesota here.
If Flowers had 5 receiving touchdowns in that first half, doesn't have anything here after halftime. Johnson set up, got 2 receivers to his left. He's looking that way, he's gonna throw it, and it is incomplete. There was a lot of contact there with Mason and McAllister, but it falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Almost the basketball pick play where you want to set up your receiver to kind of have outside leverage. Nice job from Mason to see that. Yes, a lot of contact. With all the flags we saw in the 3rd quarter, I think they're going to let him play a little bit in this 4th quarter. A nice defensive effort.
Big play here. 3rd and goal from the 4. What does Minnesota dial up here? They've got Johnson in shotgun, 3 receivers all to his left side. They all break across. He throws it up. He got hammered as he threw it, and it falls incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
We've seen throughout this second half that pass rush that was really non-existent in the first quarter has really started to rev up here, and it's getting that decision-making a little quick for Johnson. That one well over the head of the receiver. Here's another moment, Andrew. We talked about it coming into the second half. There was a moment down here for the Firebirds. They responded. Can Minnesota do the same thing?
Only defensive change Albany made was Travion Mosby came on. Dante Mason came off here for this 4th down. 4th and goal from the 4. Crowd getting loud. Johnson, 3 receivers to his left, dropping back, throws it into the end zone. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Marcus Smith. Smith still on his feet, trying to get away from tacklers. Still on his feet. 15, 20, midfield. 20, 15, 10. He lost the ball. Into the end zone it goes. And it might have been recovered by Minnesota for the touchback. Marcus Smith almost went the distance, fumbled it inside the 5,
Result
and
of the
it
play
was
is a
picked up by
touchback.
Minnesota for the
First down,
touchback.
Minnesota.
Unbelievable. The plays that we've seen in this second half. Not only does that not a touchdown for Albany, it was 4th down. Albany was going to get the ball no matter if that just dropped to the field. Then it looks like they're going to score a touchdown, and Smith fumbles inside the 5. Unbelievable.
Timeout,
Wow, you're
Minnesota.
almost waiting for him in this play. You can see it here as he makes the
This will be a
interception right here. You think he's going to just go
30-second
down. And then Albany retains possession. Now he keeps going, sheds 10, 15 tackles as he gets to midfield, and then the breakaway starts. But a tremendous effort by Minnesota to stay with this play and create the turnover. And I think it was Flowers who knocked it out.
And if it was Flowers who knocked it out, it was Flowers who recovered it.
Wow.
Because His
The league has
momentum just kind of
enforced
carried
a
him right
blanket
past
UNS
Marcus Smith.
on both teams. Any further unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will result in ejection from the game.
So it's a blanket unsportsmanlike for both teams.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
So it's almost like the umpire in a baseball game that you get thrown at, and it's like, all right, guys, we're done now. So I do appreciate that. Kind of set the tone for the last 10 minutes. There's no more extracurriculars. And for a game that's as exciting and as close as this, should be determined with the football. And what a play by Flowers, though. That's absolutely incredible effort by him to not give up on the play and really, I would say, save the season for Minnesota at this time.
I mean, here's the thing. Marcus Smith is now in the bench because he just ran 50 yards.
Yeah.
And so he's got to catch his breath. So he's off the field now here for this first down. I'm imagining a lot of people are trying to catch their breath out there because they've got to stay out on the field after that turnover of possession. Smith looked like he had it stripped from him at about the 4 or 3 yard line. And that would have been fine too. Well, if he gets tackled in the end zone.
Right. It looks like Minnesota used a timeout, so there's one of their 3 in this.
It lets us catch our breath here with 9:58 to go. Well, we told you Duluth, the Monsters came all the way from Duluth, Minnesota by bus, traveled the length to get here. They're within a score. They get the ball back. Johnson, there's a flag that flies. Pass caught. Getting up near the first down is Thompson.
Wasn't sure if the motion man was offsides, but it came from the middle of the field.
Illegal formation
Means
defense.
looking
That penalty
inside.
is declined.
Yep.
Result of the play, first down.
So it is a first down. They'll take the result of the play. Think about the plays that we've had in this second half. Dante Mason's interception that he returned for a touchdown that was called off due to the roughing of the passer. That was almost an interception return for a touchdown. The ball that bounces off the boards to Townsend, who catches it for a touchdown. The catch by Thompson on the sideline for Minnesota. Unbelievable athleticism so far in this game. Johnson, pass, caught, trying to get away from a defender and stretch for the extra yard is Flowers. Another flag flies. It's short of the first down.
Tremendous tackle there from Mosby to the shoestring style tackle
Illegal
on
defense.
Flowers.
Outside rush by number 15.
So it's been telling you that Minnesota, they're from
first down.
Duluth, Minnesota. They play in the Amsoil Arena, which is also the home to the Minnesota Duluth hockey team. And why do I mention that here with 9 minutes to go? Well, back in March, the Minnesota Duluth hockey team played here at MVP Arena in the NCAA tournament. They knocked off Penn State and future first number 1 overall pick Gavin McKenna, and then lost to Michigan in the spot to go to the Final Four. That was in late March, and here we are about 4 months later, Minnesota trying to get itself to the Arena Crown game. Johnson fumbles the snap, gets the ball away, pass complete to McAllister, and he tries to get away from the defense, but somehow gets a 6-yard pickup there. And Johnson is kind of flexing that arm after he took that hit.
Yeah, he took a big hit after that ball was released, but tremendous composure there from Johnson to regain himself after fumbling the snap and then to find a receiver. Boy, this has been high octane all afternoon.
Ball is at the Albany 23-yard line. Johnson takes the snap, has some time, pass caught, falling down, getting back up is McAllister, and he ran past Lorenzo Jones for the first down. I think Jones thought he was down, and he hopped up and picked up a few extra yards and the first down.
Defense coordinator Brandon Cisse not happy at all with that play. And you can see before the play signaling to come up and press, seeing that hitch could be thrown, and then the extra effort to get the first down.
Midway point of this fourth quarter. Johnson takes the snap, throws near side, in and out of the hands of McAllister. Drops incomplete.
Johnson almost has the release of, you don't know really where he's going to throw it because his body doesn't really shift when he throws. It's more of just his shoulders, and that one just a little bit out of the outstretched hands of the receiver.
He also takes the shotgun snap and doesn't really he doesn't lower his knees. He kind of stays almost standing kind of straight up and then just kind of, he's almost like a pitcher.
Yeah,
just
a lot of upper body.
Yeah. Here he is again, takes the snap. He's gonna throw it into the end zone. He had a man, Flowers, but it's incomplete.
A little miscommunication there. He thought Flowers was gonna continue to the back of the end zone. He kind of cut it short, like he was gonna go towards the goal line. And now here we are again, and a big third down.
3rd and 10, ball at the Albany 17-yard line. Crunch time here in Albany, New York. Monsters trailing by a score. Take the snap. Johnson gonna heave it into the end zone. It's gonna bounce off the net and fall incomplete.
Yeah, they really have seen Johnson the last few plays. I don't know if he's trying to still shake off the hit he had a few plays ago, but the last 3 passes have really not been close. And now a massive play on 4th down and 10.
Well, the only reason Minnesota has the ball is because on the last 4th down, it was intercepted by Marcus Smith, who ran it all the way to the other end zone, fumbling just before he could score. And Minnesota got the ball back.
Knock it down if it's in the end zone.
4th down and 10 for the Monsters. They put a man in motion. There's a lot of movement up front, and this crowd may have generated a false start as it was getting very loud. The crowd on its feet here. So that makes this 4th down even more difficult here as they'll back them up 5.
If you've never been here for a playoff game at MVP Arena, these fans are passionate, they are loud. It does become an extra player for the Firebirds. And you can see them kind of trying to get this crowd engaged even more. And a 4th and 15 could be a play that decides this one.
Johnson in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left. Takes the snap, drops back, running out of time, throws off his back foot. It's intercepted by Drew Singleton. There is a flag down. Singleton's gonna go the distance for the touchdown.
Could it finally happen again? Another interception taken back, but the flag, it could be Jack out of the box. I couldn't tell if he went past the 5-yard mark or not.
Well, you know that Coach Ware is taking a look, trying to get some information from his coaches up here
Albany.
in the booth.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
They called it
Automatic
legal defense.
first down.
Where he made the interception is so close to that 5-yard marker to where the Jack cannot go past. And from this angle, we might not be able to see exactly where that is, but it's close. And that's yet another play that could have made this a 2-score game for the Firebirds and gives a brand new set of downs to Minnesota.
Well, how many times do you see 1 interception for a touchdown called back, let alone 2, let alone almost 3?
Yep.
That one wasn't called back. It was fumbled right about at the goal line. So not only does it...
Oh, we got a challenge flag out now.
So Albany took as much time as it could, and Coach Damon Ware has dropped the challenge flag here with 4:28 to go in this game. And this is a big spot here. Albany has not used the challenge yet, so you might as well, I guess, at this spot.
I like this call here because it's close. When I saw it live, it looked like he was right at the line when the pass was thrown. So we'll see if we can see this from that angle. Now again.
So we're going to take a timeout here. 4:28
Albany is
as we're going a challenge
Jack
from
out of the
Albany.
box.
This is a huge challenge call. It was 4th down. It was an interception. It was returned for a touchdown. We'll be back with the referee's call. It's Albany 58, Minnesota 50.
Fans tonight's 50-50 winning number is 575-1045. It's $506, so go pick it up. Thanks for having the City of Albany and Cultural Affairs for being a proud sponsor. Make sure you check out Private Pie every summer at Anderson Landings. Firebirds fans, don't forget to check out our website for some amazing gear and merchandise.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Illegal defense. Albany has lost their challenge and is charged a timeout.
Advance next one to CDVHB Fitness and Activities County Center for being a proud sponsor. Celebrating over 20 years of service to the Capital Region, Madison Cleaners offers free pickup and delivery for their dry cleaning and wash and fold bucket services. Let them your best cleaners in line downtown. And now we're going to the back nine drive. We got some
Media timeout.
That's right, Scott. I'm your 105. Just like guys, here's your look, and we're going to play some categories. You guys are going to be facing Josh Colton, the quarterback of the Albany Firebirds. You're going to have to name as many cereals as you can. Cameron, you ready? Yeah. Logan, you ready? Yeah. All right, timer starts now. What's that cheer? 45 with a Lucky Charm. Crazy, right? Corn Pops.
Back here in Albany, it's Firebirds 58, Minnesota Monsters 50, 4:17 to go in this game. While we were away, the referees took a look at the challenge from Albany. They said that it was ruled correctly, it was upheld, it was a penalty. It will be a first down for Minnesota, no interception. And again, Albany is one defensive play away from kind of busting this game open. And meanwhile, Minnesota still within a score here with 4:17 to go as they're looking to pull the upset on the road here. And in their first season, the Monsters trying to get to the championship game next weekend. And meanwhile, fans from Michigan and Nashville on the edges of their seats as they get ready for their semifinal tomorrow, which you can catch right here on Vice, 4 o'clock. Hopefully it's as good as this game has been.
And how many times can you say you just want to make that one big defensive play? Well, now you're Albany, you've made 3 in this second half, and none of them have gone for points or a change of possession. So it was correctly ruled. We looked at the replay again, and there is a referee that stands right at that 5-yard marker, and you can clearly see the defender go outside to get that interception. So correctly ruled, Albany loses a timeout and their challenge with 4:17 left. And again, Minnesota just sets up with 1st and 10. So there's been so many different aspects to this game between plays off of boards, interceptions, off of the nets. It's been a wild one, and we still have four minutes left to go.
Well, so it was 4th and 15, a 5-yard penalty, but it's an automatic first down. Johnson pass behind his intended defender, or his intended receiver, excuse me, Flowers. It drops incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
And another shot taken from Johnson as that ball was released, and starting to see that front 4 is becoming more of an issue for Johnson in this 4th quarter, and it's forcing a lot of these throws to be off the mark.
Well, Johnson is 24 for 44 for 363 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 1 interception, although that interception ended up getting the ball back. Johnson, pass, caught, streaking towards the end zone for the touchdown is Carlos Thompson. And the Monsters within 2 here with 3:23 to play in this game.
This ball a little bit high too, but right in stride for Johnson as he's able to grab that at the 10-yard line and just turns on the Jets right between two defenders. And now a big play called here for Minnesota.
Yeah, it looks like the Monsters are going to keep the offense on the field here, trailing by 2.
No hesitation in that decision from head coach Clark Jr. there to recognize we're going to go for 2, 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes left in the game, not taking any chances.
Try to tie this game. Clock running, 3:05. This is an interesting call because you could kick the extra point, try to go for a deuce, get a 1. So they're going to try to tie it up here. Johnson backpedaling, throws, it's intercepted.
He's got space too.
It's Singleton going the other direction. This one won't be called back. Drew Singleton back the other way. 4-2. And a game changer. It wasn't the pick 6, but a pick 2 for number 5, Drew Singleton. As that is a big play. It turns a 2-point game into a 4-point game, and Albany will get the ball when we return as Drew Singleton off to the races. It's 60-56 Firebirds.
All right, now onto the field, back right by. These guys they've been waiting. There's a burger, there's ketchup, there's mustard. They're going to race.
Hey, you know what time it is, guys? It's time for the fast food dad. We got ketchup over here. We got the burger. And we got the mustard. Now they're going to have to chase that. Spin around. They're going to have to zigzag. Pick up the ball. The first one across the goal line is going home with an Albany Firebirds prize pack. So I guess I got one more thing to say. Firebird fans, are you ready? Mustard, burger, ketchup, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Don't worry about the cat. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Here we go. He doesn't check his phone. They're moving. You want me to run down there? I'm going to lock into the end zone. And he's going
Okay. All right.
to Albany Firebirds.
Sounds good.
And now fans, as promised on the video scoreboard, the CETA hit of the game.
.241 to go from Albany. It's Firebirds 60, Monsters 56, and a big play there in that conversion. First of all, Minnesota elects to go for the 2 to try to tie it. Instead, it's intercepted and run back, so it's now a 4-point game. And we know when all the points, again, when they all pile up, every point matters, and that is a big revert, kind of, instead of 2 for Minnesota, 2 for Albany, 4-point swing.
Absolutely, big play there, and then the pass rush has started to really turn up for the Firebirds. It did on that play, earns them 2 extra points.
Hall boots it away, high off of the netting. Townsend got to get out of the end zone, does. 5-yard line, and just kind of steps out at the 7. And so it'll be Albany football with 2:32 to go in this game. One of these teams is going to go on to the Arena Crown. Albany, Brian, started 8-0, lost 3 of their last 4 games to kind of stumble to the finish. Finished 9-3. They're the 2 seed. Hadn't played in 3 weeks. Minnesota won 3 straight games to end the regular season. Vault all the way up to the 3rd seed. Won a first-round game last week. And both teams 2.5 minutes now away from a spot in the Arena Crown.
And these are the tough possessions if you're the Firebirds, because you can either try and go end it now or try to keep the drive alive. We'll see what they do.
Short pass from Castronova is caught by Isaiah Scott. He is out to the 12, a pickup of 5.
And Damon Ware's no stranger to these type of situations. The past few seasons building the winning culture that they have here in Albany. And the under 2-minute mark, these are where crucial plays can decide games.
As the clock gets down, if this is your first AF1 football game that you've watched, it's not like outdoor football. You can't just take knees here to get to the finish line. You got to gain positive yardage, and 2.5 minutes is a ton of time in arena football. And speaking of that, Darian Townsend into the end zone for the touchdown. Castronova to Townsend for 6.
Well, you take your chance if you're Minnesota, thinking that Albany's just going to dink and dunk their way down the field. A beautiful move at the line of scrimmage from Townsend as the press was on, and as soon as he got by that initial defender, it was off to the races. Nobody within 10 yards of him, and he dances into the end zone.
4th receiving touchdown for Darian Townsend, who was the league's leading receiving touchdown catcher in the regular season with 24. 4 more here this afternoon. Bailey Hale out for the extra point. It's a 10-point game. Clock still rolling here with 1:15 now to go. Firebirds taking their time. That extra point was actually held by, I think Josh Polka held that.
Yeah.
Darian Townsend had been holding. That was Polka. The kick is up and it is good. 1:10 to go here from Albany. The Firebirds leading at 67-56. Do the Monsters have a miracle in store? Say again, Bo. Sorry, I'm sorry. Say it again. Okay, and then just sign and just out to out. Okay. Okay, terrific. Yep, thank you. Back here, AF1 semifinal action. 2-seeded Albany 67, 3-seeded Minnesota 56. This has been an exciting game throughout. 1:10 to go. Minnesota needs to score a couple of times here, trailing by 11, but there's way to kind of stack points up. Score a touchdown, go for 2, kick a deuce. I mean, there's ways to multiply points here. So this game by no means is over with 1:10 to go. But Bailey Hale boots it through, and that is a big one for the Firebirds as he sends his 3rd deuce through. So that is big. And talk about Bailey Hale, maybe the unsung hero. Castronova, 9 touchdown passes. Bailey Hale, who was just signed on Thursday 2 days ago, has made 3 deuces in addition to a slew of extra points. Coach Ware wanted to be in the double digits. Special teams, check and check.
Firebirds fans dancing, hopefully trying to maybe get another game
This is a
here. It
1
depends
minute
on what happens
timeout.
tomorrow.
1 minute timing rules are now into
Right.
effect.
Right now, the Firebirds trying to work their way into that arena crowd.
1 minute to go. We're going to take a break here from Albany.
Tonight's game is brought to you by TransFinder. The TransFinder also celebrated a major national victory. It's a clean sweep in the 2026 School Transportation News Innovation Choice Awards. TransFinder took first place in all 4 categories. Just as the Firebirds bring innovation, teamwork, and determination to the field, TransFinder brings award-winning technology to school districts and police departments, helping them operate more efficiently, communicate more effectively, and keep students and their communities
So
safer.
they're up by 13. They got 3 deuces and the 2-point return, which could have been 2 points for them. So that was really a 4-point swing.
Yep.
The 6 points from the deuces.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Hey, Boxer fans, we're gonna need you for 1 more minute in the 4th quarter. We'd like to make some noise.
Free t-shirts! Free t-shirts! Let's go!
Monsters with the football. 1 minute to go in this game. Javante Johnson, who's got 8 touchdown passes. What does he have left in the tank here? Drops back into the end zone. Pass caught by McAllister, trying to get away. He's got a first down. He's pushed over midfield. And 50 seconds to go, as that's a big pickup to McAllister. The Monsters need to score twice here, trailing by 13. Speaking of 13, that's the amount of points I believe that Bailey Hale has. He's 7 of 9 for extra points, 3 deuces. And that really has been the difference. Again, he was just signed on Thursday, 4th kicker this season for Albany. And he has had a tremendous game out there. Kicked last year for Salina, who actually lost to Albany last year in the semifinals.
Look out.
Here. Johnson wrapped up. The pass is incomplete. They just tried to sling it ahead to Claude Davis.
Well, Johnson did a nice job the last play to get away from the pass rush, but really the offensive line for Minnesota having all sorts of problems in this 4th quarter, trying to corral the pass rush for Albany.
45 seconds to go. Again, the winner in this game will take on the winner of tomorrow's semifinal between top-seeded Nashville and 5th-seeded Michigan next weekend in the Arena Crown. And that date will depend on where the game takes place. There's a flag at the snap. Pass is over the head of the intended receiver.
So been a little too quick there on the motion man.
Illegal formation, offense.
Penalty
5-yard
on
penalty,
the
second
Minnesota
down.
offense. If it is Albany, Brian, the two potential Arena Crown matchups, they went 0-2 this year against Nashville, 1-1 against Michigan. So teams that, you know, have beaten Albany this year. Those are their only 3 losses of the year. 2 to Nashville, 1 to Michigan. They came at the end of the year, so if Albany gets into the Arena Crown game, they'll face one of those 2 teams. Minnesota is hoping for a Minnesota miracle here in the final minute, trailing by 2 scores. Johnson drops back, running for his life, throws it. Pass is broken up with 34 seconds to go.
Smith down after that play. Good recognition. That ball took a while to get there, but Smith converged, knocked that ball away, kind of trying to shrug it off. He's played a heck of a game for this defensive unit from Albany.
The defense has done a lot in this second half. They gave up 34 points in the first half. 34 seconds to go. We want to make sure we thank our director, Bo Smith, and all of our crew here getting us on the air. Tremendous for them here this evening. We appreciate them. Johnson hit as he lets it go. It is knocked around and it drops incomplete with 25 seconds to go, and that will bring up 4th down. Thanks also, Brian, pinch hitting here, called in late, and we've gotten to see just a tremendous semifinal game here.
You knew with these two in a semifinal matchup was going to be entertaining, no doubt, and it is delivered. And Albany possibly 1 play away from getting back to the Arena Crown.
25 seconds to go. This is 4th down. Minnesota's got to get to the Albany 13-yard line. They got a ways to go. Johnson throws it. Pass caught. Twisting and close to the 1st down. He's going to be short of the line to gain. It's going to be a turnover on downs. And Albany is going to take over the football with a 2-score lead and 19 seconds to go. And Albany is headed back to the championship game.
We knew there would be big plays in the second half, and there were plenty. But all of it coming down to Minnesota's last chance and being just 1 yard short, trying to continue this drive. What a wild game.
Again, tomorrow is the second semifinal. Top-seeded Nashville, 5th-seeded Michigan. Should be a whale of a game. 4 o'clock Eastern on Vice. The winner of that game will take on Albany. Will the Arena Crown be back here in the Capital District next week, or will it be in Clarksville, Tennessee? The scene will shift in 19 seconds to Tennessee and the F&M Bank Center for Tennessee and Michigan coming up tomorrow afternoon. Castronova is going to hand it off. Getting a few yards forward is Zacher. And that'll keep this clock running, and that's going to run things out here. Albany was pushed by Minnesota.
Get a late timeout call.
You're going to take a timeout here. The Monsters with 6 seconds left. Can't take it back with you.
Yep. I mean, and hopefully things don't get
Timeout, Minnesota.
a lot of jawing.
Second charge timeout.
But
Be a 30-second timeout.
I understand it. But also at the point in time where knowing you only have 2 timeouts left,
9 seconds
all it
on
takes
the
is
game
another
clock,
run
please.
from Albany
9
and it'll do it.
Brian, this was a 1-point game at the start of the 4th quarter. This semifinal was billed as was going to be a heavyweight showdown, and it was just that. And Albany 69, Minnesota 56. Again, if Albany wins this game, which is they're on the doorstep.
Right.
If Nashville wins tomorrow, Albany would go to Nashville next weekend. That game would be on Saturday. If Michigan wins, Michigan would come here to the MVP Arena on Sunday, is what we've been told, August the 9th for the championship game. So that is the schedule here. Again, Michigan and Nashville play tomorrow in the second semifinal. Albany is presumably just going to run the ball up the middle again to run out this clock. But this was as we get another flag here,
Timeout,
this game
Albany.
was
First charge timeout.
billed, again, as a heavyweight showdown.
30
Minnesota
second
gave
timeout.
Albany everything they could ask for and more. They had the lead a couple of times in the first quarter. It was a 1-point game at the start of the fourth quarter. Albany just had enough here to kind of lengthen things out and push it to a 2-score game.
Yeah, it was you figured how would Albany come out after not playing in so many weeks. Minnesota has the momentum after winning last week. They come right out with a flurry in that first quarter. And when you watch the way the adjustments were made from Albany defensively in this second half, really turning up the pressure on Johnson, creating some turnovers, even turnovers that they didn't get credit for. And they'll come out of here with a well-deserved semifinal win.
And Albany Arena football looking to be back in a championship game, no matter what league, for the 5th year in the last 6. And Albany is headed to the Arena Crown with a 69-56 victory. Coach Damon Ware said it's playoff time. No excuses. Well, the Firebirds didn't make any excuses here this afternoon as they pull out this semifinal victory. For our entire crew and Brian Mariano to my left, the final score, 2-seeded Albany 69, Minnesota the 3rd seed 56. Albany back in the championship game, headed to the Arena Crown. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.